The following is a Dowling Catholic Sports presentation on Iowa Catholic Radio. Our coverage of Dowling Catholic Sports is underwritten by Ashworth Vision Clinic, Construction Professionals, Dental Associates, Mercy One, the Catholic Tuition Organization, Skeffington's Foamaware, and Bozen the Florist. Thank you for supporting Iowa Catholic Radio.
And good evening, and welcome to Williams Stadium on Des Moines' east side for Week 11, second round of the high school football playoffs here on Iowa Catholic Radio. Dowling Catholic hosting the Waukee Northwest Wolves. Mark Amadale, John Chido, Matt Mandering here on a very wet, damp, and cold night. 40 degrees, feels like it's at 34 degrees. Chance of snow tomorrow morning, but tonight we got high school football, and as long as the thunder or the lightning and thunder stay away, we're going to play in the rain. And how appropriate for the final final game outside during the playoffs, Matt, before everything goes into the dome. We have wet and cold conditions tonight and a very small crowd here.
Very small crowd. Yeah, I don't anticipate too many more. There'll be a few more listening to us tonight, I imagine. And, it's one of those things where as long as there isn't lightning, you play football and you play the game. And it's always interesting how it impacts different teams, and this is where if you were a strictly passing team, which we don't have here tonight, it really puts you at a disadvantage. So some of the games across the state, especially on the east side here, it's gonna play a role, and ball security, everything else that goes with a wet night.
Sure, this is probably the worst conditions we've seen this year. We had cold weather one week, and guy who knows all about that is John Chido, our sideline reporter. He's up here in the booth to start with, and your brother was very nice, and
so thankful for that.
Your brother Frank, who's on the chain gang, he says, "You know what, Mark? Would you give this to my brother so he stays dry and I'll stay wet during the game?" Frank Chido on the Dowling chain game on the opposite side, but he left you an umbrella so you can go down and interview Coach Wilson and, of course, the kids, the players, maybe after the game if everything works out. John?
He was doing a nice gesture, but that was my only excuse for staying in the box was not having an umbrella. But leave it to Frank to, be the nice brother he is and provide you with an umbrella for me. So
I'm the messenger.
Thank you, Frank.
I am the messenger, so we're going to lose him here pretty soon, Matt.
Hopefully the wind doesn't come up and he Mary Poppins off somewhere, but I think he'll be all right.
Well, these conditions are going to be challenging. Let's take a look at tonight's 5A quarterfinal schedule. As mentioned here at Williams Stadium on Des Moines' east side, home of Grandview University and Des Moines East. Number 9 seeded Waukee Northwest, their record 6-4, taking on number 1 seed Dowling Catholic, their record 9-1. And you're listening to the pregame show once again here on Iowa Catholic Radio. In Pod B, it's 7th seeded Cedar Rapids Prairie with a record of 7-3 at number 2 seed Southeast Polk. Their record is 9-1. Over in Pod C, number 6 Johnston, record 7-3 at number 3 seed Ankeny with a record of 9-1. And finally, the final pod, Pod D, 14th seeded Valley with a record of 6-4 at 5th seeded Cedar Falls with a record of 8-2. And that game is indoors at the Unidome in Cedar Falls. So there's the matchups. The winners move on to the semifinals next Friday afternoon and evening to the Unidome in Cedar Falls. So, Matt, that's how it looks. I think Southeast Polk's probably a strong favorite. Johnson, Ankeny could be a toss-up,
yep.
And Valley might be the surprise in the Dome. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but just looking at it on the outside, a 14 seed could upset a 5 seed, and that would be what happens if Valley were to defeat Cedar Falls.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, all the games shift to Des Moines. All the Des Moines area schools could very easily be in that Final Four. And we were talking about today a little bit. It used to be before we had the RPI. They did bracket it in such a way generally that someone from the east side of the state would end up playing someone from the west side of the state. And now it's you get to play the games, and whoever wins wins.
It's seeded, and it makes it more interesting, John. As you know, it gives the kids something to talk about. Certainly, the coaches to talk about, and the fans. And unfortunately, tonight's not a good night to be outdoors, but you still got to play the game.
Yeah, you sure do, and like Matt was mentioning, it's going to affect both teams with the weather, and your two running teams, two teams that can run the ball very well, and so you're going to see a lot of that tonight with the conditions. But going back to the brackets, that's talked about all the time amongst football guys. How they used to do it back in the old days. You had 8 teams from the west, 8 teams from the east, and you only played the championship game in the Unidome back then in the 80s and 90s, and they still did the 8 and 8, and then they went to the RPI. Now you're getting a true bracket throughout the whole state.
Yeah, you certainly are, and what a bracket is. Well, you look at these two teams, Waukee Northwest. This is the rematch of Week 2. Dowling got their first win after losing Game 1 to Southeast Polk, 38-24 at Valley Stadium. The Maroons went over to Waukee Northwest and defeated the Wolves 45-19. Parts of the second half had the running clock, and then the Maroons started substituting, and then Waukee Northwest kept their starters in and scored, so that there went the running clock. But the Wolves have won 7 of their last 8 games, or 6 of their last 8 games. They went 0-3 to start with, 1-4 actually at one point, and they put on a pretty good run with head coach Corey Kapatich, and they got a shutout on the road at Cedar Rapids Kennedy, which is not easy to do. Kennedy's been in the top 10 all year. For Dowling Catholic, another shutout last week, 35-0. The Maroons have allowed less than a touchdown, except to Johnson, where they beat the Dragons 42-19. Maroons have given up a touchdown, field goal touchdown, and a shutout in their last several games. So interesting, this Waukee Northwest team changing, or what's changed since 2 months ago when Dowling played him, Matt.
Well, what's changed is the first 4 teams they played were it was like murderer's row. That you play Valley, Ankeny, and Dowling,
and Southeast Polk,
and Southeast Polk, and John. I mean, they had a tough stretch. No one had a starter. Had a tougher start to the season than Northwest, and then you get your feet under you as the year goes on, and this team has really started to hang their hat in their running game, and they're not going to fool us. They're not going to fool anybody by throwing the football, and a night like tonight doesn't really bother them. The thing that I think about in that game in Week 2 was how Dowling found their run offense.
That's when they found it. Yeah, that's exactly right.
Because in that first game against Southeast Polk, I mean, they ran the ball less than a dozen times, I think is what it ended up being. And against Waukee, it was just, all right, we're going to get behind this offensive line and give Rashad, Davis the ball, and give C.J. Phillip the football and pound it down the field.
That's what happened, and I remember a couple good runs by Jackson Smolik that game.
Yeah.
So he became the third running back to, that they had to defend. But for the Wolves, they've kind of progressed. They've changed some things around. Their starting tackle is no longer with the team that started against Dowling, so they moved some people around, not only on offense but also on defense. And their interior line, Johnny, changed a little bit, and it's been for the good for the Wolves.
Yeah, and you're seeing Brady Grisham really become a fantastic running back. I mean, when you're able to make those line changes and find that unity with that offensive line, which is so important because that's where the games are won in the trenches, and then you put a guy like Grissom behind that line that's a tough downfield runner, good things are going to happen, and that's something that's different from the first time around. Now they found the unity in that front line, and with Grissom being the running back that he is, you're going to see a lot more of that tonight.
And over 1,000 yards for that young man, and that's hard to do.
200 last week against Kennedy.
Yeah, 1,039 yards in the season and 5 touchdowns. So he's really has blossomed, as you said, John, as the seasons went on.
Tonight's game brought to you in part by Ashworth Vision Clinic, Construction Professionals, and Dental Associates. And let's go to the matchups tonight. And Matt, we'll start with you. The Dowling defense against Waukee's offense, and you look at some of the numbers coming in. Sam Johnson, their quarterback, he can run and throw it. He's thrown for 6 touchdowns, but he's also thrown 6 interceptions. Rushed the ball for 10 touchdowns, and he and Brady Grisham are the 2 backs, and then Cooper Chifus and Jackson Adams are their leading receivers. But they have some guys on offense. Again, they restructured offensive line. Cale Winter was their starting center. He is now their starting right tackle. And so moving things around. Your thoughts as they match up with the Dowling defense?
Well, I think, obviously it's stopped Grisham. Watching the Kennedy game, as I went back through it and watched it again, they got a lot of their yards between the tackles. And Grisham is such a strong runner. And what started to happen was they were able to get guys to the second level, knock Kennedy's backers off, and then slice through the middle with Grisham, and he was able to get a lot of yards tackle to tackle. And you don't think about that. And on a night like tonight, that's a big deal.
Oh, that's huge.
Because you can't get outside, you can't turn the corner like you want to on a drive field. So it's really gonna fall on Hagan, Rumley, and Hikas really to consume the blockers, not give up their space, and keep things clean for for Wannick, for Hughes, and for that linebacking crew to get there and clean up on Grisham and not let him get ahead of steam.
All right, John Chada, your thoughts on the Dowling offense against the Waukee Northwest Wolves defense. And, for Dowling, they're kind of going on all cylinders. They've all kind of sprinkled the ball around. Smoley can pass or run, and the offensive line, which has done a great job this year. And I have to hand it to Coach Pollock, and they've done a tremendous job throughout the year. They've gotten better. Your thoughts as they match up with this Northwest defense that's not too bad. They're led by their linebackers. Adam Gardner and Chase Lamb are their two leading tacklers, and you don't hear much about their defensive line, but you hear a lot about their linebackers.
Yeah, and they run what Dowling ran the last 10 years, the 4-2-5 defense or 4-4 defense. And what you're going to see tonight, you're going to see a lot of shifting, trying to get them unbalanced and get matchups for your offense line, because you're going to see a lot of C.J. Phillip and you're going to see a lot of Rashad Davis tonight with the conditions especially, and you got to take care of the football as well. But I think you're going to see a lot of three receivers, different movements to see if they adjust to it and see if you can get those matchups. If you can get 5 blocking 4 or 6 blocking 5, you're going to win those battles. And so I think you're going to see a lot of movement pre-snap, a lot of adjustments. And, the one thing I noticed in the first game, when Dowling went to 3 receiver set, they would roll a roll 3 coverage. So they would roll to that 3 receiver side. Now you had a mismatch on that tight end. So they call their strength to the field. So you saw a lot of runs to the short side of the field, the boundary. I think you'll see a lot more of that tonight. And the Mike linebacker, look out for him, because if he's out of the box, you're going to see a lot of inside zone, I would imagine, and try to get, which is Harry Linen, on an island by himself to make him decisions. And he's a good football player, but you want to make him feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, he and Gardner are really
Yeah.
two standouts inside there, and Lamb. I mean, they're all three really, really good, and that defense of Waukee is better than when we saw them the first time,
Right.
I think.
All right, we're going to take a break here in the pregame show. Coming up, we'll have a word from Dr. Dan Ryan, the president of Dowling Catholic High School, and Father Reed Flood, the Dowling Catholic chaplain, will give us our pregame prayer. On a rainy night, 40 degrees, dress warm, stay dry. That's the trick tonight. It's Dowling and Waukee Northwest. And when we return, we will catch up with head coach Tom Wilson. For Matt Maindring and John Chido, I'm Mark Amadale, back with more pregame after these messages here on the Iowa Catholic Radio Network.
The permanent diaconate is an ancient and sacred ministry of service dating back to the time of the apostles. Deacons are ministers of charity, the word, and the altar. The church welcomes faithful to ask themselves if they're being called by God to serve the church through this commitment to holy orders. Men interested in learning about the role of deacons in the Diocese of Des Moines are invited to attend an informational meeting, which will include the requirements for admission into the deacon formation program and an explanation of the ongoing process of discernment to the diaconate. Email deacondemoines@gmail.com for dates and locations. A message from Iowa Catholic Radio.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio is provided by Ashworth Vision Clinic. Complete eye exams, contact lenses, glasses, glaucoma testing, and pre- and post-operative care. 515-440-4610. AshworthVision.com.
Iowa Catholic Radio, connecting listeners to Christ every day with people like you.
Hi, I am Denise Roush with the St. Boniface Catholic Church in Waukee. Thank you for listening to Iowa Catholic Radio.
To the pregame show here on Iowa Catholic Radio. Mark Amadale now joined by head coach Tom Wilson as Dowling takes on Waukee Northwest tonight in the second round of the Class 5A football playoffs here at Williams Stadium on Des Moines East Side. Coach, thanks for joining us, and best of luck tonight against the Wolves once again.
All right, thank you, Mark.
Coach, is a rematch of Week 2, Dowling and Waukee Northwest. Before we get to that, let's talk about last week's game, the win over Davenport West. Team Dowling hasn't faced since, 1972, and things got pretty much in control in the second half. You had the running clock, but, Coach, when we talked to you at halftime, there were a few things you wanted to address. One of them was tackling, but your kids came through and persevered in getting that first-round win.
Yeah, we did. It's like I said at half, I'm not sure that we'd played particularly well over the course of the night, but, offensively we owned the line of scrimmage. We really didn't throw very many times. Part of it was because we didn't need to, and then defensively we were able to make some stops and secure the shutout, which was good. And I thought really special teams had a lot to do with it as well. We had field position most of the night, which was helpful.
Well, it certainly was, Coach. And, looking at defensively, your guys got a lot of sacks Friday night. They up front was just setting themselves up. It really was prevalent in the second half, but you held Davenport West to just over 200 yards total offense, 114 in the air and 98 yards in the ground. And your guys up front really did a great job.
Oh, they did. I mean, we thought we had an advantage there, and when they threw the ball, we certainly did. I think a big part of the frustration was, there's a couple times we had them in 3rd and long, and we let them out of it, and a couple of those times it was just by missed tackles, and that's something that we're going to have to be better at.
Offensively, Jackson Smolik, as you mentioned, only threw 10 passes, completed 5 of them, had a touchdown, and rushing. You look at your 2 ball carriers, Rashad Davis and C.J. Phillip, both had a pair of touchdowns each. Rashad 132 yards rushing, and C.J. 89 yards. I think C.J. missed a couple series. I thought he got shaken up early, but he came back later. But that was all set up by your offensive line for those 2 guys to have the success, and for Smolik to not need to pass as much.
You're exactly right. I thought they did a great job. I thought Jalen had a good night blocking. I thought Hunter Crutchlow continues to do the dirty work, and not many people really notice, but still really important to us. And both Rashad and CJ had good nights and did a good job with the football.
Smolik has so many weapons. We talk about Cooper Nicholson and Bo Gamble, but Michael Reichart caught his first touchdown pass of the year, Hank Brown the week before, and then if you mix in your tight ends, Jalen Thompson and Danny Nielsen, they both have been in the end zone this year, so he's got a load of weapons. It depends on what the defense gives him, and Jackson certainly knows how to check down.
Yeah, he's done a good job and has great command of our offense, and really happy for Michael to get that touchdown. He's a kid, doesn't say much. He just quietly goes about his job and has earned the right to get some playing time and has done a nice job, and happy for him to get a touchdown. And it was really on a scramble play, and he kept moving around, and Jackson found him in the back of the end zone. So really good job by both of those guys. So, hopefully that just leads to us spreading the ball around a little bit more and more people making plays.
And, Coach, back to Davenport West, their quarterback, who was, getting some D2 and some lower-level D1 offers, Brady Hansen, didn't have too bad of a night. He was pretty consistent, but he couldn't make the big play. And then one of his leading receivers, I thought the guy was all-around athlete for him, number 16, Devin Sanders Howard, really made them one-dimensional because he really wasn't effective in the game. And that might be because, I don't know if he was shaken up or maybe because of how you defended him.
Oh, really, I thought we did a good job. We didn't start out by kicking to him in the kicking game, and then we did later on, and I thought we covered him very, very well. And, I do think he's a good athlete. The quarterback that you mentioned, I thought was a nice player, a tough kid, ran the ball well, and made some throws with his arm. So, they certainly had some pieces, and it's like I told their coaching staff, I thought they've done a heck of a job, and first time in the playoffs since 1999, and I think that just says a lot about the culture that they're trying to create and really the progress that they've made.
Well, Coach Wilson, when you look at the tape following last week's game, the first-round victory over Davenport West, what are some of the young men that may have stood out, somebody maybe that we didn't mention on the radio, somebody in your mind that had a pretty good game? You mentioned special teams to start with. Yeah,
we did, and Trey had the returns. I think he averaged 20 on the night, and that has as much to do with people blocking for him than what he's doing, and that's certainly helpful. Hopefully we can get some more of that. You mentioned Michael, and I mentioned Hunter. I think Tommy Keipo got a sack the other night, which was great for him, a senior that's persevered and stuck through it. And, I don't think we talk about the job that Peyton Johnson does probably enough. I think he's really come on and really done a nice job for us. And, Noah Seamer keeps getting more and more playing time, and, he sure earned it. He got hurt before the season started and has really worked his rear end off to get back and play some pretty good football for us.
Busy with head coach Tom Wilson before tonight's game. It's Dowling taking on Waukee Northwest here at Williams Stadium. We'll return to the pregame show with head coach Tom Wilson in a moment as we preview tonight's opponent, Waukee Northwest. This is Mark Amadale, and you're listening to Iowa Catholic Radio.
Matt Wilcombe here from Iowa Catholic Radio. I'd like to thank you for your continued support of this apostolate. Because of you, we're reaching more souls in more ways than ever before. Whether you've had your faith strengthened by either our talk or music channels, or if you've been impacted by one of our other outreach initiatives, you experience firsthand the value Iowa Catholic Radio brings to the Catholic and Christian community. If you haven't made the decision yet to become a family member, please consider a $30 a month sustaining gift. Just visit iowacatholicradio.com, and welcome to the family.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio is provided by Construction Professionals. Construction Professionals does remodeling and new construction. Construction Professionals is a Catholic family business built on a strong foundation. CPCustomHomes.com. Thank you, Construction Professionals, for supporting Iowa Catholic Radio.
Celebrate the end of Roe versus Wade. Attend Pulse Life Advocates Pro-Life Christmas Gala Saturday, November 19th at the Meadows Event Center in Altoona, Iowa. Get details at pulse4life.org. A message from Iowa Catholic Radio.
Welcome back to the pregame show here on Iowa Catholic Radio. I'm continuing my conversation with head coach Tom Wilson. It's Dowling and Waukee Northwest. And, Coach, the rematch of Week 2, where the Maroons went over to Waukee Northwest and defeated the Wolves 45-19 back on September 2nd. But a lot's changed here in 2 months and 9 games. You're meeting the playoffs, and hats off to Coach Kapatich and their staff. They got a big win on the road last Friday night, going over to Cedar Rapids and knocking off Kennedy at Kingston Stadium in Cedar Rapids, actually shutting them out. So obviously both teams have went their separate ways, but it looks like Northwest overcame their 0-3 start, and here they are.
Yeah, they've had a tough schedule, to be honest with you. They opened with Valley and then played us and then played Southeast Polk and had Ankeny along the way. So, they've certainly had a tough schedule, and, this seems like they're starting to hit their stride now. They've really played really good defense and tried to work to their strengths offensively, and here they are in the state quarterfinals. So they've done a good job.
Let's start with their defense. Their linebackers are the leading tacklers, led by Chase Lamb, number 32, has almost 80 tackles on the season, and right up there is Adam Gardner, number 45, 51 tackles, and he, along with Owen Klunder and Harry Linen, both lead the team in tackles. So there's 4 linebackers that's going to make it difficult. Now, I know we had the running clock there in the second half back in Week 2 against the Wolves, but tonight I'm sure that'll change. But what are some of the things you see personnel-wise? What have they done other than trying to stay relatively healthy? They put together a pretty good defensive group.
Yeah, defensively they've moved some things around. They've got a different safety in from the last time we played. They've got some different guys in the interior than the first time that we played. But really, the guys that you mentioned, like Linen and Lamb and Gardner, those are really their staples, their linebackers, the guys that make plays. I've always liked the Stotts kid, who's also another one of their safeties. And, I think they're a good defensive football team. Their basic scheme is the same, but yet personnel a little bit different. And I imagine they're going to look at things that we were successful at to begin with last time, and obviously try to do things to counteract that.
And offensively against the Dowling defense, Sam Johnson's their quarterback, and he's kind of a combo guy. He's thrown for 6 touchdowns, but also thrown 6 interceptions. But Brady Grissom really came to life. So that's telling me their offensive line last Friday night at Cedar Rapids really came to play, as Grissom, number 28, had over 200 yards rushing.
He's a good player, and really it revolves around him and their quarterback, Sam Johnson. And, they're going to do some read stuff. They're going to do some design QB run, and some of it's just Grissom coming downhill. And, as you said, against Kennedy, he had a big night, and it's certainly something that we're going to have to take care of.
Well, Coach, what are some of the keys? Playing a team twice in 1 year, there's some advantages. You kind of know personnel, but that was 2 months ago, and everybody kind of changes. Allen's gotten healthier, and I'm sure Coach Kapatich and Waukee Northwest have done the same. What are some of the keys in this game since the game 1 back on September 2nd?
Well, I think a big thing is how you handle the weather and the challenges that come with that, and minimizing turnovers and trying to create some in your favor. And, with inclement weather, field position is always a big part of it. And in a game that what it could turn into is a game at the line of scrimmage. And so the team that can run the ball and take care of the ball and have a short field is probably going to have a big advantage.
Well, Coach, best of luck tonight against Waukee Northwest. Hopefully they'll have the scoreboard working and all that stuff so they don't have to go through your coaching staff. But I'll tell you what, Jared Herring did a tremendous job Friday night, up and down the stairs. You can tell he's a track guy, but he was communicating with you and the coaching staff and the Davenport West folks trying to get the scoreboard here at Williams all in place.
Absolutely correct, and I really thought the officials did a good job on the field trying to make the best out of a tough situation. So you're right. I hope it's all in working order.
Coach, best of luck.
Thank you.
Head Coach Tom Wilson has been my guest here on the pregame show. We'll take a break and return. Matt Mandring, John Chad will rejoin the broadcast. This is Mark Amadale, and you've been listening to the pregame show before tonight's Class 5A playoff game, Dowling and Waukee Northwest here at Williams Stadium on Des Moines East Side on Iowa Catholic Radio.
Did you know you have a choice in your child's education? Smaller class sizes, dedicated teachers, a sense of community, and a caring learning environment. Whether it's in the classroom or at home, Diocese of Des Moines Catholic Schools deliver the best value in education, and we offer tuition assistance to help you afford it. Learn more about how the Catholic schools in the Des Moines Diocese might be the right choice for your child. Visit dmdiocese.org/schools.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio is provided by Dental Associates, addressing your smile needs and dreams. 515-225-6742. Des Moines-DentalAssociates.com. Thank you, Dental Associates, for your support of Iowa Catholic Radio.
Iowa Catholic Radio, connecting listeners to Christ every day with people like you.
My name is Larry Cruzy from St. Peter and Paul Catholic Church in Petersburg, Iowa. Thanks for listening to Iowa Catholic Radio.
And we're back here at Duke Williams Stadium on Des Moines East Side. Both teams on the field. It's Dowling and Waukee Northwest. And the winner advances to the semifinals next Friday, either at 4 o'clock or 7 o'clock at the Unidome in Cedar Falls for the semifinals in Class 5A. Mark Amadale alongside Matt Mandry. John Chido has made his way down to the field. And I just saw him give a pat in the back to Fred Tiernan. John, let's bring you right in. Coach Tiernan, is that a pregame tradition between you two? What's up?
Yeah, every game he comes up to me and shakes my hand. I tell him best of luck, go get him, and it's been going on here since 6 years now. I've been doing this, and you can't say enough about Coach T. He's just a tremendous, tremendous man.
And Matt, those two, John Chido, Fred Tiernan, Adam Brown, a few others, help with the weight training in the winter during the off season for the young athletes that aren't out for a sport. They do a great job with that, and Johnny's part of that.
Yeah, I mean, he wrangles them together. I think the thing where I saw Coach Tiernan come to his peak, though, is when they have Mass after school. The football team does on Friday afternoon. He leads the singing. He makes sure those young men sing to close out the Mass and everything else. So it's quite a sight, and it's good to see.
That's good. It's probably better to have Fred do that than to have Johnny lead in the singing.
Well, yes.
All right, the coin toss going on. We're going to send it back to our producer tonight. Jeff Piggott is back with us. We'll take a look at the starters. Nothing has changed in the Dowling sideline. We'll start the offensive line, left tackle to right tackle. Kyle Rockers, Cade Batterton, Max Shelton at center, Nate Agos, and George Nahas at right tackle. Tight ends are Jalen Thompson and Danny Nielsen. Wide receivers, Cooper Nicholson and Bo Gamble, backed up by Michael Reichart and Hank Brown. Running backs for Dowling, C.J. Phillip, Rashad Davis, and the quarterback is Jackson Smolik. Those are your Dowling Catholic starters on offense. Defensively for the Maroons, Carson Hagan, Ralston Rumley, Cody Hikas, the down linemen. Linebackers are Braden Pearson, Joe Hughes, Jimmy Wanick, who leads the team in tackles, Dylan Manning, and Matt Hanton. And the cornerbacks are Jake Henderson and Jared Rickey, and the free safety is Justice Williams. So that is the starters for Dowling. Maroons, Andrew Schumacher will handle all the kickoffs and place kicking, and Cooper Nicholson is the punter. And let's take a break, come back with our pregame prayer and a word from Dr. Dan Ryan. You're listening to the pregame show here on Iowa Catholic Radio. Coming up, the kickoff between Dowling and Waukee Northwest. Playoff football here on Iowa Catholic Radio.
Hi, this is Dr. Dan Ryan, president of Dowling Catholic High School. Welcome to another season of exciting Dowling High School football. We are proud to be partners with Iowa Catholic Radio.
How about that?
Is that better? Not only broadcasting football, but also being partners in preparing Christ-centered leaders for life. Go Maroons.
Hello, my name is Father Reed Flood, Let us pray together for the coaches, players, and trainers for this athletic
large
competition.
Radio
this evening.
audience.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Heavenly Father, we thank you for all your gifts. We ask that you bless all those involved in this athletic competition this evening. We ask that you keep them safe.
No, not
yet.
They haven't plugged in with us. Maybe
we ask this through Christ our Lord.
That's Kurt Braun.
Saint Sebastian, pray for us. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Listener-supported Iowa Catholic Radio, 1150 AM KWKY Des Moines, 94.5 FM K233BT Des Moines, 88.5 FM KIHS Adel. Online anytime at iowacatholicradio.com.
And welcome back to Duke Williams Stadium on Des Moines' east side. Alongside Matt Maindring, Mark Amadale. Waukee Northwest is kicked off. They defend the north end zone. Dowling had the ball going to the end zone for a touchback. First play of the game from the 20-yard line. C.J. Phillip gets a few yards up to the 26-yard line. So for Dowling, it'll be 2nd down and 4 is run away. And play action, pass to the near side, caught by Bo Gamble. And he's out of bounds, shy of the first down, Matt. The line of scrimmage was a 26. He may have fell out of bounds around the 28 for a gain of 2.
Yeah, Bo had the yardage or close to it, and then he backpedaled just a little bit, and it's going to make it a 3rd and 1 here for the Maroons as a quick play out there. And right now, Johnny, there's not much, if there's any rain coming down, right?
No, it stopped. It completely stopped. So it's just wet field is all you have right now.
Temperature lost a degree. Thank you, John. 39 degrees at kickoff with north winds at 10 miles per hour. Dowling going right to left, south to north, so they're going into that wind. 2 receivers to the right, pistol formation. Smolik, the Dowling quarterback, handoff to C.J. Phillip. Zigzags, goes right over center, and they're going to spot him shy of the first down, maybe about a half a yard, and that's it. Back up to the 29-yard line. Actually, no gain, and it'll bring up 4th down for the Maroons.
It will early on here, and Coach Wilson making a decision early here, not running the punt team out right now yet. And they ran into the heart there with that defensive front. Those 4 linemen down there really stopped things up for it was Moses, Croft, Thomason, and Smith. They got the stop there for Waukee Wolves.
Well, 15 seconds on the play clock. Dowling going for it. They have Bo Gamble split out wide right. 1 receiver to the left. Now they shift their tight ends. They move them to the left side. 1 back in the backfield. 4th and 1 from the 29. Dowling going for it. They hand it off to C.J. Phillip. Turns the corner. He's got the first down and is run out of bounds at the 36-yard line for a gain of 7. And the Maroons going for it. 4th down deep in their own territory, Matt. I bet that happened a lot at Sheldon High.
It did. It caused everybody to scratch their head a little bit once in a while. But, you play the numbers game sometimes. There's 2 things right there that the coach is telling you. He trusts his offensive line and he trusts his defense. And so right there, that was a gutty call early, and away the Maroons go.
All right, 3 receivers on a first down for Dowling from their own 36. 3 receivers right, hand off to Phil, but he's wrestled down back in the backfield, hit and dropped. Back at the 34-yard line, he'll lose 2 yards. It'll bring up 2nd and 12 for Dowling Catholic.
It will, and in the backfield in a hurry there, Eli Moses crashed from the wide side of the field. Right now, Dowling has the ball on the left hash, and they were running towards that left side a little bit, and Moses came from the back side and cut C.J. Phillips down.
All right, the Maroons flip-flop their tight ends again as they'll line them up on the left side. 1 back in the backfield with Smolik out of the shotgun. 2 receivers to the right. Here's a snap, handoff Phillips, short side of the field, makes a move across the 35, still on his feet, and he falls across the 40, up near the 46-yard line for a gain of 8.
And, for those of you listening at home, what's happening is Dowling is shifting 2 people over, the wing back essentially and the tight end over to, they start in the wide side, they shift them to the narrow side, and it creates a numbers game for the Maroons that they feel they can win. And right there, C.J. Phillip follows those blockers on the outside between the number and the hash for a big pickup.
Johnny explained that during the pregame show what they were doing, and now we got a timeout on the field. We'll keep it here with just under 9 minutes remaining. First quarter, no score. Dowling and Waukee Northwest on a very cold, damp night. The rain has stopped. John Chidle's on the Dowling sideline, and you mentioned that, Johnny. The Maroons are shifting their tight ends, or actually their their tight end and utility back, Hunter Crutchlow, they shift them, and you mentioned that in the pregame.
Yeah, and Matt's exactly right. It's a numbers game. So when you have more guys blocking their guys, it creates a mismatch, and you're able to get positive yardage. And Waukee Northwest comes out, and they'll call their strength to the field, which is the wide side of the field, and then Dowling will shift their guys to the short side of the field, and if they don't adjust, then you have the numbers, and that kind of what happened there on the last play. But when you come back out the next play and you're trying to communicate that, and you're doing those changes, and if you're not on the same page, then it's forced you to call a timeout.
Thank you for that report, John. I'm glad the rain's held up for you to be able to be on the field. Reminder, tonight's winners play next Friday at the Unidome in Cedar Falls. Cedar Rapids Prairie is at Southeast Polk tonight. Johnson is at Ankeny, and Valley is in the Unidome taking on Cedar Falls. These are all 7 o'clock kickoffs, so we'll try to keep you posted with scores. All right, back to live action. It's 2nd down and 6 for Dowling. The ball is on their own 41-yard line, and Smolik, a handoff to C.J. Phillip, and he got the first down. He runs the short side of the field once again, out of bounds into Wolves territory at the 44-yard line.
C.J. Phillip got a nice block up in there, and as he was going over the A-gap on the guard center side, or on the narrow side of the field, short side of the field, and then that allowed Rockers to get up a level. They got a good block. C.J. Phillip wiggles a little bit and gets that first down. That big gain for the Maroons.
15-yard run for C.J. Phillip. First down Dowling, as Matt mentioned, from the Waukee Northwest 44. Handoff C.J. Phillip, trying to dances around between center and right guard, and finally puts his head down, gets down to about the 41-yard line, gain of 3. And that time the Maroons went with one back, C.J. Phillip, with 3 receivers to the right, and they're really playing that numbers game, thinking they're going to pass, looking pass, but yet running.
Yeah, and Jalen Thompson's on the left side, on the tight end side there, and that time they did go to the right side, or to the wide side of the field, as they continue to play games a little bit and see how Waukee is going to adjust.
All right, 2nd down and 7 for the Maroons. This time they line up 2 receivers to the right. Dowling going right to left, south to north into a 10-mile-an-hour wind. Handoff goes Phillip. Left side, turns the corner, puts his head down and grinds his way nearly out of bounds. He'll stay in bounds inside the 40 and down to about the 37-yard line, a gain of 4 of Northwest.
Again, run to the short side of the field. That time Max Shelton, the center, pulls, and he's the lead blocker, and that's just something to see with these athletes today. You get your center out, and he pulls. You know, in the old days, you never thought about a center pulling. It was only the guard and the tackles. And they get Shelton out, and he leads C.J. around the corner for a nice pickup. Creates a 3rd and manageable here with 3rd and 3.
This will be the 10th play of the Dowling drive. It started back at the 20-yard line. It is 3rd and 3. Handoff Phillip up the gut. He's got the first down. Cuts outside near sideline 20, and he's finally run out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. And again, they run to the short side of the field practically this whole drive. That was the 10th play, and C.J. just utilized his line of scrimmage and finally found the hole. He bounced it outside the left end.
He did, and the patience he showed early, because he didn't blow through the line. He waited for those blockers to engage the defensive. Those linebackers from Waukee Northwest are really good, and they got engaged there, and C.J. Phillip darts it to the outside. Big, strong run. Big first down as the Maroon offense is rolling.
22-yard run for C.J. Phillip. First down, Dowling at the Northwest 15. Handoff Phillip again. This time he's head on at the line of scrimmage. He tried to get around left end and is dropped at about the 14 for a gain of 1. Well defended by the Wolves.
It was. And again, Max Shelton came out and pulled on that one and trapped the corner, Grant Mackey, number 13 for the Wolves. But the rest of the group from Waukee was able to close it up and create a short gain.
Down linemen for Waukee Northwest: Eli Moses, Kyle Crofta, Tim Thomason, and Hunter Smith. And we'll get the linebackers here in a moment. Dowling with the receiver on each side of the formation. Handoff Phillip right over center, and he dives forward towards the 10-yard line. They'll spot him down at the 10 for a gain of 4. This finished the Waukee defensive lineup. They're a 4-2-5 defense. Linebackers are Harry Lynham, Adam Gardner, their second leading tackler, and Chase Lamb, their leading tackler, along with Owen Klunder at corner, Grant Mackey, the other corner, Logan Stotts at safety, and Andrew Eastman, the free safety. That's the starters for the Waukee defense. And it's 3rd and 4 for Dowling on the Northwest 9. And now a handoff to Phillip.
No, that was a pass outside.
And it's
right at the stick. Looks like it could be a little bit short
it's
of
at
the first
six,
down.
Yeah, it's at the 6-yard line.
The Maroons are going to hurry up here and run a play.
At the 6-yard line, it was a pass completed by Smolik, and quarterback sneak.
And he's going to get the yard.
And he needed a yard, and that's what he got on 4th and 1. Again, second time in this drive, Dowling goes for it on 4th and 1, and Smolik gets the first down behind his offensive line, and they've been good all throughout the year. Centers Max Shelton, the guards are Nate Agos and Cade Batterton, Kyle Rockers, and George Nahas, the tackles. First and goal, Dowling at the 5.
Right now, they're just trying to win that line of scrimmage, and the quick pass out to Cooper Nicholson out there, it was just a hair short, but then Dowling got right up to the line, run the play without a huddle, quarterback sneak, first down.
Smolik gets a yard, first and goal, Dowling. And the handoff goes to Phillip. This time he's hit and dropped, and he'll lose a couple yards back to the 7-yard line, so we'll bring up second and goal from the 7.
And that time it was Tim Thomason, big number 97, the 6', 265-pound senior from Waukee Northwest, closed it down from behind, was able to get C.J. Phillip as they feature C.J. Phillip on this one. That was a read option play right there. And I got to think if they run that again, that Smolik's going to keep it. I don't know what you're thinking, Johnny.
All right, the Maroons will reset their offense. They move the tight end and fullback to the left side. Here's a snap. Give to C.J. Phillip. This time he'll run left, puts his head down, and crashes down to about the 3-yard line. Will bring up third and goal from the 3-yard line for Dowling Catholic. Gain of 4.
It'll be a little bit inside of the 3. It looks like even down to the 2, inside the 2, as they are now knocking on the door. And it's something to have as much rain as we did today. And you thank for these turf fields, as the traction is really good out there right now.
This will be the 16th play of the drive. It's a third and goal from the 2.5-yard line. Phillip puts his head down and finds a seam. Touchdown, C.J. Phillip over to left guard and tackle as he crashes into the north end zone here at Duke Williams Stadium, and Dowling strikes first on a 16-play, 80-yard drive to start the contest. And, Matt, that series took about 8 minutes.
Yeah. That reminds me of that's old-style football right
there. Yes, it is.
Just pound the ball down the field, convert 2 fourth downs, and really showed the desire of that offensive line, that offense.
6-0 Dowling. The extra point is up, and it is good by Dowling Catholic, and that was Andrew Schumacher. The hold from Jack Jepson and the snap from Carson Hagan. So Dowling leading 7-0 with 3:53 left to go first quarter. Back in 1 minute here on the Iowa Catholic Radio Network.
It is never too early to explore what Dowling Catholic School has to offer. Families and students of all ages are invited to the Dowling Catholic Annual Open House on Sunday, November 6th. Prospective students and their families have the opportunity to learn about Dowling Catholic's academic programs, student life and activities, faith formation, school culture, and athletics. Join Dowling for student-led tours of the campus, a parent panel discussion, and the opportunity to meet the Dowling Catholic faculty and staff. There will be a tuition assistance representative available to answer your questions. Learn more at dowlingcatholic.org. A message from Iowa Catholic Radio. Support for Iowa Catholic Radio comes from Mercy One, your expert circle of personalized care for all your health needs. With more care locations than anyone, your best life is their one purpose. Find your doctor at mercy1.org. Mysteries of the Mass Unveiled with Father Craig Vasick at St. Pius X Catholic Church in Urbandale, Saturday, November 12th. Be inspired by the latest Eucharistic miracles around the U.S. while the Eucharistic revival builds. Learn more at iowacatholicradio.com.
And we're back here at Duke Williams Stadium. Mark Hamadale, Matt Mandring, John Chotto. Here's a kickoff by Waukee Northwest, and the young man picks it up and falls right at the 13-yard line, and that's where the Wolves will start 1st and 10. How unfortunate is that, as Grant Carter fielded the ball and is down there as Maroons lead it 7-0. And how about this drive, John Chotto, as we go down to you? 16 plays, 80 yards, and took about just under 8 minutes to for that to complete. That's most of the first quarter, Johnny.
Yeah, and that's exactly the type of drives you need in these type of weather conditions, is to control the clock, control the line of scrimmage, and take care of the football. And that's exactly what Dowling did.
All right, first down, Waukee Northwest. They start from their own 14-yard line. Thanks to John Chotto for that report from a very cold, damp night. The rain just stopped not too long ago as we're underway here in the first quarter. And the Wolves with the handoff to their outstanding tailback, and that is Brady Grisham. Quarterback is Sam Johnson. He's a 5'11" junior. Grisham, a 6-foot senior, 195-pound tailback. The Wolves now with 4 receivers left, nobody in the backfield, and Johnson will keep the football. Sam turns to left and wants to run upfield, and he's swarmed under by the maroon jerseys, and that'll bring up 3rd and long for the Wolves.
Cody Hikus right there on the tackle. He wasn't having anything of it. It was a design quarterback draw on 2nd and 5, 2nd and 6, and Cody Hikus was out there, held his ground on that right side to the wide side of the field, and swallowed up the quarterback, Sam Johnson.
So that'll move the ball back to put it on the 20-yard line officially. Now back to throw is Johnson, being chased, avoids pressure, now runs to his right, running out of bounds, and he may have gotten near a first down, running out of bounds right about the 30.
Yeah, he'll have a first down.
And he should have it. Yeah, he does.
Yeah, nice run there. Once he cleared, it was Braden Pearson coming on the blitz from the left side, and Johnson was able to avoid the blitz, comes out to the edge, and then there was no one there, and was able to have an easy run up for a first down for the Wolves.
Ball spotted right on the 30-yard line. Give him 10 yards, and that was a busted play in its own right, so credit to Johnson for that. Landon Kennan, Trevor Zarkowski, Aiden Barady, Malcolm Mutai, and Cale Winter, the offensive line for the Wolves. Handoff goes to Grissom, and he is swallowed up right at the point of attack, and no gain on the play as the handoff went directly to the tailback, Brady Grissom, who has carried the ball for over 1,000 yards and 5 touchdowns this year. Matt?
It was. Matt Hanton there for the Maroons on the stop. Met Grisham in the hole. And, he did a really good job of continuing to drive his feet. You always tell those linebackers, you make that initial hit, drive your feet, because Grisham's a load. And, he's 5'11", only in 100 or 6 foot 195. That's a big kid coming at you.
All right, the Wolves now with a 2nd down and 10. And Johnson will keep the football, a little read option. He's hit and stood up by the Dowling defender there, and that's Braden Pearson at the point of attack, and he shoves him out of bounds. And let's see where they spot forward progress. No gain.
Braden Pearson did not miss him that time, as he did a really good job of extending his hands, fighting off the blocker on the numbers here on the left side, short side of the field, and was able to separate from the blocker, make the tackle on Johnson. Big stop for the Maroons, creating a 3rd and 10. And this is an uncomfortable distance for the Wolves. They are not a passing team, and this is where they're going to they have to be challenged.
2 receivers to the left. They throw left. The pass is it's caught, but play has been stopped, and we may have a penalty coming down the pike here.
Or they called timeout. No.
And we'll hopefully be able to pick this up. Procedure call against Northwest. That'll back them up 5 yards, so it'll bring up 3rd down and 15 for the Wolves on their own 30.
Crazy to look at the clock right now, and it is working correctly. And there's only 36 seconds left in the first quarter.
And if our listeners from last week weren't tuned in, we did not have a clock most of the first half and most of the second half. It was going in 10-second increments, and when it was working. But it has been fixed. Credit to the folks here at Des Moines East and Grandview University. They got their IT people all over that. So far, so good tonight. All right, 3rd and 15. Northwest on their own 25-yard line. Johnson back to throw. Doesn't find anybody open. Now being chased, and he throws it away. And I don't know if it's incomplete. The intended receiver that time was number 2, and that was Jackson Adams. And it'll bring up 4th down.
Yeah, he was rolling, and he was sprinting for his life towards the sidelines here on the short side again, on the right side of the field, left side of the field of the defense. And he did get rid of the ball to his receiver, but well short of the first down, but he was out of bounds as well.
All right, back to punt will be Tanner Philpott.
And tonight we only have one guy back. Only Cooper Nicholson back for the Maroons tonight on the punt.
And he'll stand at his own 40, left-footed punt, and it's a line drive kick. Bounces at the 45 of Dowling, takes a Wolves roll, and it'll be stopped right around the 31-yard line. That's where Dowling will take over 1st and 10 from their own 31-yard line with 4 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. Dowling 7, Waukee Northwest nothing. Alongside Matt Maindring, I'm Mark Amadale. Let's go down to John Shido. I don't see the umbrella on him, so John, the rain still must be holding off for now. And quite a defensive presence down there by the Maroons once they gave up that nice run by Johnson.
Yeah, it sure was. And when Sam Johnson's able to break the pocket, he has great speed and good footwork, and you got to keep him contained. And he made something happen and continued that drive. And then the Dowling defense put Waukee Northwest in a bad situation, like Matt mentioned. They're not comfortable playing behind the chains.
All right, Smolik with the first down, the Dowling offense on the field from his own 31. They hand it off to Rashad Davis, and he's in the secondary at the 40, down the far sideline, and he tipped those out of bounds inside the 50-yard line. Officials mark him out at the 47. That'll be the final play of the first half as Rashad Davis goes 23 yards.
Makes his entry into the football game by, part of that two-headed monster that they have in that backfield. And as we were talking before the game, equal amount of yards almost between those two young men. Davis has 675 yards in the year, Phillips 642, and you can see why that makes Dowling's offense so strong.
22-yard run. We'll take a break as we come to the end of the first quarter. Dowling 7 and Waukee Northwest nothing on a damp, cold night here at Williams Stadium. Back with the second quarter in 1 minute on Iowa Catholic Radio.
Iowa Catholic Radio business underwriters provide people with the opportunity to hear the Word of God and grow in their faith each and every day. Our business supporters have helped expand our network, connecting more listeners to Christ. Would your business or organization like to share in this mission? If you own or manage a business, we would like to talk to you about how you can make a positive impact in the state of Iowa and beyond. To learn more about becoming an Iowa Catholic Radio underwriter, contact Deacon Mark 515-223-1150 or visit iowacatholicradio.com.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio is provided by Skeffington's Formalware, in business since 1951, with locations in Des Moines, West Des Moines, Coralville, and Ankeny. Skeffington's Formalware, fitting you for life celebrations. Online at skeffingtons.com.
Iowa Catholic Radio, connecting listeners to Christ every day with people like you.
Hi, I'm Lisa St. Arnold from St. Joseph Church in Des Moines. Thank you for listening to Iowa Catholic Radio.
All right, we're back here at Duke Williams Stadium on Des Moines' east side. Second quarter underway. Dowling with a pass to Cooper Nicholson from the northwest 47-yard line. Takes it down to the 36-yard line. Gain of 11 on a little quick hitter on the near side, Matt. And now the Maroons with a 1st and 10 from the northwest 36. Here is Smolik. Handoff to Rashad Davis. Zigs and zags. Squirms out of a tackle and bolts his way down to about the 33-yard line for a pickup of 3.
He does a really good job of finishing going ahead. And right now, with no rain, the passing game's as wide open as the run game at this point. And when the field's a little bit wet, here it doesn't actually feel like it, seem like it right now, but it does give the advantage to the offense because they know where their cut's supposed to be. So, but right now, with the way they're running the football, there's no need to put the ball in the air too much.
Sure. Well, Maroons now with a 2nd down and 7 from the northwest 33-yard line. The Maroons move Crutchlow to the outside the tight end on the right side, and handoff goes to Rashad Davis. He uses Crutchlow's block and Jalen Thompson. He's hit and turns the corner and finally hit around the 26-yard line for a gain of 7. And Rashad Davis, like how he waits for his lineman to start establishing that line of scrimmage, and then he does his deal.
He did, and you had Crutchlow out there blocking. You had Batterton pulling from his left guard position, again, to the narrow side of the field, to the right side of the field. He's pulling, and Davis, Rashad, just sat behind him and waited for them to maintain their blocks, and again, pops off a decent run. So it's 3rd and 2.
Yeah, they're going to call it the 28, so a pickup of 5 for Rashad. Dowling leading 7-0. They send out Bo Gamble, wide left. Cooper Nicholson, slot left. Tight end is on the right side. That's Thompson. Handoff Rashad Davis. They work the right side, and Rashad can't turn the corner, and he's run out of bounds for no gain. May have lost a yard, and credit to the white shirts of Northwest. They're wearing their blue and white uniforms. Blue numbers, all white uniforms, and they had more hats over there defending Rashad.
They did. They're adjusting a little bit. I think the corner's coming up really hard on this right now, the safety coming up on that toss, because it was the same thing. Batterton out there leading. They pulled 2 guys to the narrow side here and trying to create numbers situation, and that time Waukee won the battle.
Loss of 2. They put it back to the 30-yard line, so it'll bring up 4th and 3. Maroons going for it. Handoff, Rashad Davis right at the middle. He's got the first down, falls forward right at the 25, and ball came loose. The officials saying, no, it's down.
He was down.
And it's a first down Dowling right at the 25-yard line to pick up a 5.
Yeah, nice strong run by Rashad Davis as he exploded through the middle right there. And, you know, you got a lot of confidence in your run game when it's 4th and 5 and you're running the football.
Hey, Johnny, this is the third time Dowling's went for it on 4th down. Now, this is probably a little bit more appropriate in the defenders of Northwest territory, but earlier it was on the Maroons' only 29-yard line.
Yeah, that's 3 for 3 on 4th down conversions, and that's big conversions. I mean, anytime you convert on 4th down is huge, but in your own territory especially, because if you don't, that just gives Waukee Northwest a short field position.
It sure does, and it's 1st and 10 Dowling from the Waukee Northwest 25-yard line. Handoff Rashad Davis again. Tries to go over right guard, penalty flag down, now kicks it out to the right tackle, and he's finally run down right about the 23-yard line, but a penalty flag down, and they're going to mark probably a hold, I'm guessing, at the 25, so this will send the Maroons back. We'll get the call here.
Yeah.
Holding on Dowling is what they indicate, so the Maroons will back up 10 yards.
I got a couple scores here. Valley was trailing 3-0 and now went ahead 7-3 at Cedar Falls, and that game is still in the first quarter. Johnston Ankeny, we don't have a score from them yet. It's a 0-0. Southeast Polk is up on Cedar Rapids Prairie, 7-0 in the second quarter.
Here it's Dowling 7 and Waukee Northwest nothing. 10 minutes and 15 seconds remaining. Second quarter on a cold and damp night. Temperature was at 39 degrees. And now Smolik wanted to hand off, now doesn't, fires the ball out, and it's caught. Is that Cooper Nicholson? He's got it. Down the far sideline he goes. He's diving for the pylon. Did he get in?
The pylon?
Touch. No, he's out of bounds at the 1.
Yeah. He started waving his hands, but he's signaling out of bounds. So
he was signaling touchdown, and the official said, no, you're out of bounds right around the 1, maybe the 2-yard line. But what a job by Smolik. He handed off, faked the handoff rather, a little play action, and then had penetration, so he had to get around that, and he rolled to his left and found Cooper Nicholson in the left flat, and Cooper was on his own.
So the play was a read option to the right side, to the narrow side of the field, and the pass play was supposed to go to the right. Smolik loads the arm for a second, pulls it back down, then escapes to the left, and it looks like he's going to run for the first down, flicks it out to Cooper Nicholson, and big gain then around the goal line.
1st and goal in the 2. Handoff right over the middle to Rashad Davis. Hops the tackle, but he's brought down at the 1, so he won't get in. I'll bring up 2nd and goal from the 1-yard line, but a 33-yard pass play from quarterback Jackson Smolik of Dowling Catholic to Cooper Nicholson.
And you cannot stress enough how hard that is for the quarterback, for a young quarterback, to roll out and look like he's going to run and then still have his eyes downfield and pick up Cooper Nicholson open on the left sideline, on the far sideline. And he was wide open. It's just a little flick. The ball only travels about 5 yards forward in the air, but it turns into a big gain for the Maroons.
All right, 2nd and goal from the 1, and the handoff to Rashad Davis, right side, works his way down the line. Touchdown Dowling. Rashad Davis over the right side behind the blocking of Nate Agos and George Nahas, right guard and right tackle respectively. Touchdown Dowling. The Maroons have tacked on 6 more, and it's 13-0 pending the extra point, Matt.
It was kind of funny to watch because I'm thinking, Rashad, you just got to get a yard, and he's dancing down the line looking for a big gap, and then finally he runs out of area and dives ahead for the touchdown.
Johnny, that's going A, B, and now C gap. That's what he did, right?
Yeah, and Matt's exactly right, because all you got to do is just step a foot forward, and he kind of made it a little bit harder than what it is, but still, with his athleticism, he was able to get in the end zone.
Schumacher kicks the extra point, and Dowling's up 14-0 with 9:13 remaining. Second quarter, back to Duke Williams Stadium on Des Moines East Side. After this, you're listening to high school playoff football on Iowa Catholic Radio.
Did you know you have a choice in your child's education? Smaller class sizes, dedicated teachers, a sense of community, and a caring learning environment. Whether it's in the classroom or at home, Diocese of Des Moines Catholic Schools deliver the best value in education, and we offer tuition assistance to help you afford it. Learn more about how the Catholic schools in the Des Moines Diocese might be the right choice for your child. Visit dmdiocese.org/schools.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio is provided by CTO. Your support has helped thousands of students attend our Catholic schools. CTOiowa.org. At CTO, the bottom line, It's for the kids and their future.
Stories of miraculous conversions, Power of the Mass of the Eucharist 2-day mission with Father Craig Vassick, November 13th and 14th at Sacred Heart Catholic Church in West Des Moines. Daycare will be provided. Learn more at iowacatholicradio.com.
All right, kickoff by Dowling Catholic, and they pin once again Northwest in a spot. They're going to spot the ball right around the 17-yard line. As nice job by Schumacher, and on the return by Northwest. So special teams doing well for the Maroons, and Northwest a first down at the 18-yard line, we'll call it. Johnson in at quarterback, and the give is to Grissom, the tailback, and nothing going. Tried to go over right guard and tackle, and he stood up the line of scrimmage for no gain.
And those of you that stayed home because of the rain, and we said it wasn't raining, well, it's raining now.
We saw that on the radar, and we thought it might go east, and, Matt, it went north, and it's bringing a lot of company.
Yeah, the drizzle has started here. Nice stop in on the interior line there for the Maroons. Again, Wanik and company stopped Grisham right up the middle for a loss of a yard.
All right, that'll bring up second down. They're going to call it 10, and now a lateral pass that is caught to the left side and hit and dropped. That is Jackson Adams on the reception, and he's brought down right at the 15-yard line. John, let's go back down to you as we got started late. 9-play, 69-yard drive by the Dowling offense, capped off by Rashad Davis's 1-yard run. So both Dowling running backs have scored tonight.
Yeah, they sure have. And going back to that play that Jackson Smolik made was tremendous because it's wet conditions, and to be able to double clutch the ball and hold on to it and then reverse field and find Cooper Nicholson, it was just a fantastic job.
All right, Johnson's going to take off as everybody's covered downfield. He had a couple of receivers, but there were 4 maroon jerseys around those receivers, and Johnson goes down. He scrambles up to the 20-yard line, gain of 3, but it'll bring up 4th and long for Northwest, and the Wolves forced to punt.
And that's Jimmy Wanik territory right there, because he is the spy that's mirroring Johnson. When he drops back to pass, Wanik is sitting in the middle of the field, and it's one of those things. As the quarterback gets close to the line of scrimmage, Wanik's going to sneak up, and he got Johnson just when he crossed.
You mentioned that last week. He was the spy for the Davenport West quarterback, and now
Philpott
has the punt blocked, and Dowling falls on it at the 10-yard line. How about that for special teams play? The Maroons blocked the punt.
Vinny Bertinoli actually almost tackled the punter, and so he got a hand on him, because they're doing that rugby-style punt. And so the punter is taking off and runs and then kicks the ball. Well, Bertinoli chased him down and gave him a little shove just as he was going to punt it. And the ball falls out, and the Maroons now have the ball on the 10-yard line.
Yeah, 1st and goal at the 10. Johnny, how about that? Bertinoli with the not only the block, but the tackle.
Yeah, and what Dowling's doing is they're bringing more guys in the box to go after this punt. So they must have saw something on film. And Vinny Bertinelli to get there, especially the rugby-style kicker that Waukee Northwest has, he was able to get there quick and not only make the block but the recovery.
And they hand off to C.J. Phillip on 1st and goal, and Phillip dives his way inside the 5 down to about the 3, a pickup of 7, and bring up 2nd and goal from the 3 for the Maroons.
And they're going to hurry up here as they see something, and they're getting right on the ball again, are the Maroons.
Smolik out of the shotgun. He has 3 receivers split out wide right, 1 back in the backfield. That's C.J. Phillip. Tight end is on the left side, and the handoff goes to Phillip over left guard and tackle. Bowls his way down towards the 1-yard line. That's where he stopped. It'll bring up 3rd and goal from the 1.
It really looked like he was going to get in the end zone, and that's a big stop from Chase Lamb, the 6'3", 215-pound junior. Dowling goes hurry up, quarterback sneak, touchdown.
Touchdown, Jackson.
Let's wait for the official call here.
Yes,
there it is.
Touchdown, Smolik. Ball comes out. Dowling recovers, but
Smolik
crossed the goal. Touchdown, Dowling, and the Maroons lead it 20-0 with 6.5 minutes left to go here in the second quarter. And what a move by the Maroons. They take advantage of a Bertinoli block punt, and they go 3 plays and 10 yards.
They go hurry up when they're down there, not to let the defense get set, and Jackson gets right under center, and the surge there was a slow call for the touchdown because it looked like he was across right away.
All right, Jeffson in to hold the snap from Hagen. Ball's down, and Schumacher puts the extra point through, and it's 21-0. Dowling leading Waukee Northwest with 6.5 minutes left to go here in the second quarter from Duke Williams Stadium in Des Moines. You're listening to our coverage of Iowa Catholic Radio's coverage of Dowling football here on the Iowa Catholic Radio Network.
This is a Young Catholic Minute. Why does a loving God make us suffer? Okay, Adam and Eve, behind door number 1, perfect happiness. Door number 2, something else.
Oh, we'll take door number 2.
Ooh, bad choice, Adam and Eve. Behind door number 2 is not perfect happiness, which means that suffering, death, illness, and trans fat enter the world. The point is, God doesn't want us to suffer, and He doesn't make us suffer. We choose suffering anytime we turn away from Him and His plan, which, unfortunately, is a lot. And sometimes we suffer just because we live in the fallen world that Adam and Eve chose for us. But even out of suffering, God brings good by allowing us to choose Him again. If God were to say, hey there, everything will be just dandy if you follow me, are we really choosing God because we love Him? Or could the dandyhood factor be tipping the scales a bit? We can be sure we're truly following God when we choose to follow Him even through suffering, not just when it's easy. For more, go to youtube.com/youngcatholic.
And we're back here at Williams Stadium. Dowling kicking off and fielding the ball deep in his own territory at the 1-yard line was the Wolves. And I'll tell you what, Matt, he muffed the football, picked it up, and he was just swarmed under. Yeah. And that was, I believe, looking here, it was Grant Carter. And that's the second time he's muffed the kickoff. And Waukee deep in their own territory. First down, and they got the power I formation from the 5 and a handoff. Now we have the rugby scrum, and he gets about 2 yards up to the 7, but dangerous territory for the Wolves here.
Yeah, and you see both teams. Dowling goes into essentially their goal line defense, and Waukee Northwest lining up and into a tight formation, which means they're going toe-to-toe with their offensive linemen. And they're just going to try to run straight ahead, and Dowling's going to try to create a pile.
Yeah, no receivers, 2 tight ends, and quarterback is under center, penalty flag down, hand off the tailback, and he's swarmed under. And let's go down to John Chido since we didn't get the chance earlier. Johnny, Bertinoli, Vinny with the block punt, and Dowling goes 3 plays and 10 yards for the score. Smolik on the quarterback sneak.
Yeah, and, we talked about in pregame, who's going to be able to take care of the football and limit the turnovers, and Dowling has been on the positive edge of that. And not only that, Mark, as you guys mentioned in the kickoff returns, Waukee Northwest is not doing themselves any favors with their field position starting inside their 17, the 10, and now the 5.
Yeah, that's horrible field position to start a game, especially against the number 1 seeds. 3rd and 7 Northwest. The ball's on the 8-yard line, so Grisham gained 1 on his last carry. And again, no receivers, 2 tight ends, and 3 backs in the backfield, almost like the full house. And a handoff to one of the tailbacks. That's Grisham trying to turn the corner, and he tries to hop a tackle, and he's finally brought down at the 9-yard line, maybe the 10, but he'll be shy of the first down. He has to get up to the 15. He'll bring up 4th and 6 for the Wolves.
Yeah, and this creates a situation for the Wolves where they're, sitting here, and we've struggled on special teams, and here's a dangerous situation where their punter's going to be standing in the end zone on this play.
All right, Philpott in to punt. And Dowling has twin safeties back in this set. Philpott from his own end zone, good snap, and the left-footed punt gets underway. It's a high end-over-end kick, and Dowling will let it roll. Maroons avoided, and that was Matt Moore that almost clipped him.
And dance away from it.
And it's down right about the Northwest 46-yard line, and that is where Dowling will start their offense. 1st and 10 from their own, from the Northwest 46, Matt.
Get a couple score updates. Southeast Polk has gone up 14-0 on Cedar Rapids Prairie, and Valley has just scored again, and so now they are up 14-3 on Cedar Falls down at the Dome, and no score out of Johnston and Ankeny yet. And I know there's one viewer wanting to know this one. Van Meter is up on Sigourney Keota 28-0.
All right. They used to go by the Savage Cobras, and
they still are.
I think they're the Cobras
the
now.
Cobras now.
I think they downsized it, a little bit. 1st and 10, Dowling from the Northwest 46. Back in the lineup is Rashad Davis, carries the football on the right side. He's brought down for a gain of 1 down to the Northwest 45-yard line. Reminder at halftime, we will go through our statistics as we will have those brought to you by one of the Dowling coaching staff, Jared Seifert. Will provide the statistics. We also caught up with the Dowling JV and sophomore head football coach, Jimmy Cataldo, and hope you can join us for that interview at halftime. And, of course, we'll have more scores. Back to throw is Smolik on 2nd and 9. He fires it downfield. He's got a man open, but he overthrew him at the 5-yard line, and that was Hank Brown. He had his man beat, but Smolik had to unload it due to pressure.
Yeah, the offensive line gave him a lot of time back there, and Smolik Jackson stepped up in the pocket, and it was Hank Brown, had a step on the defender, and he gave him a shot at it just out of his range down the middle of the field. So now you have a 3rd and long, the first time that Dowling has been 3rd and more than 5 or 6.
21-0, Dowling Catholic leading Waukee Northwest. 4 minutes remaining here in the second quarter on a cold and damp night, and the rain has returned after it stopped before the game. Back to throw Smolik on 3rd and long. Fires a ball out, and the pass is incomplete. In the hands of Jalen Thompson, but he was hit at the last moment. A nice job by Grant Mackey, who broke that up for Waukee Northwest.
Yeah, the defender and the ball got there at the same time, and Jalen wasn't able to hang on to it to bring it in for the first down, and now Dowling will send the punt team out there for the first time.
Cooper Nicholson in, as you mentioned, for the first time tonight. And deep for Northwest will be Owen Klunder, who's their starting cornerback, one of the two. Good snap by Hagen, and Nicholson, high, wobbly kick, out of bounds right around the 20-yard line, and that's where Northwest will take it. With 3:50 remaining in the first half, Dowling 21, Waukee Northwest nothing. Mark Amadale, Matt Maindring here in the press box. Let's go down on the Dowling sideline on a wet, cold, damp night, 39 degrees to start with, north wind at 10 miles per hour, and that's where John Chido is. And, Johnny, you have that umbrella out.
Yeah, I do. The rain is starting to come down pretty heavy or consistently right now. But, Jackson Smolik made 2 nice throws and just wasn't able to connect there. And if it would have been a touchdown because there was no help over the top on the one receiver, and then hitting Jalen Thompson there was a tight window.
First down, Waukee Northwest from their own 22-yard line, and Johnson, the quarterback, Sam Johnson, keeps the football, and he gets a few yards, a little bit of quarterback action. He rolls to his right and sprints upfield, gets across the 25. They're going to spot him at the 27-yard line, gain of 5.
Noah Seamer chased him down to prevent any kind of further run. That was a good run there by Johnson.
Bring up 2nd down and 5. Line of scrimmage, the Waukee Northwest 27. They're going south to north into that 10-mile-an-hour wind. He fakes the throw, and now quarterback draw, and he gets across the 30. He'll be shy of the first down, needs to get to the 32, and is dropped to the 31. And it'll bring up 3rd and 1 for the Wolves.
I have found one score. Johnston is up on Ankeny 7-0 with 5. This was a little while ago with some time left in the first quarter, so that game is likely in the second quarter now. But Johnston's up on Ankeny 7-0.
And lots of scores going on. Big matchup. Johnson and Ankeny up in Ankeny tonight. Valley inside at the Unidome in Cedar Falls, and Cedar Rapids Prairie at Southeast Polk. The winners will play. And now a little wildcat. The quarterback was out of the shotgun, and they snap it to one of the players in motion. And did he get the first down? He needed a yard.
I don't think he got there. He's going to be a little bit short. And
not by much.
Not by much. And I got to think they might roll the dice.
Short. 4th and less than a yard for Northwest. They got nothing to lose and everything to gain here, right?
2 minutes left in the quarter, in the half, and Dowling's up 21-0. You're down by 21 points, 2 minutes left in the half. Your season is over after this. You're going to take these gambles.
All right, Johnson, read option, hands it off to Grissom, and he's hit and dropped for a loss. Back at the 29-yard line, Dowling defense. They are fired up. And the Maroon offense is going to get the ball in great field position at the 30-yard line. They'll spot him down, loss of 1.
And I'll give you a guess. Jimmy Wannick. Jimmy Wannick flew through the line of scrimmage and met Grisham in the backfield and read it all the way. First impact by Jimmy and stops him, and the rest of the team is there and creates a loss. They actually lose 3 yards.
Yeah, and John Chido on the sideline. Grissom last week, over 200 yards rushing against Cedar Rapids Kennedy. You don't think some people saw some film of that?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And it started with the defensive line, and like Matt said, and they're able to take up 1 to 2 different double teams, and that lets those linebackers run free and able to get in the backfield to make these tackles.
All right, Maroons with the pass on first down. A little quick hitter over there to Bo Gamble, and a nice catch as Smolik got rid of it quickly, and they put it down at the 25 of Northwest.
Well, you're in your 2-minute drill. Even though you're inside the 30-yard line, there's a minute 38 left and counting, and up 21-0. Dowling's going to look to put some points on the board here before the half.
2nd and 5, a 5-yard gain by Bo Gamble. 2 receivers right and 2 tight ends to the left. The handoff to C.J. Phillip. Runs left, now bounces right, and he puts his hand down and gets to the 20-yard line. He's near a first down. They're going to give him the first down.
Get him a first down, so that'll stop the clock with 1:21. And we got someone coming up a little bit gimpy here.
That's Crutchlow, I think.
Yeah, Hunter Crutchlow.
Hunter Crutchlow's pretty tough kid. I don't know if he got stepped on. He's favoring that ankle a little bit. Looks like he lost his shoe. Did he lose his shoe, Johnny?
No, he's got a shoe on. I think he might have rolled his ankle.
Oh, okay.
Rolled his ankle, maybe got spiked. Sometimes that happens too, or cleated, I should say, not spikes, but cleated. Nonetheless,
he doesn't want to put any weight on it, and he'll get seated there and
First,
work with him.
1st and 10 Dowling as the Maroons are in the Bozen the Florist red zone. 515-244-ROSE, bozen.com. Quick pass on play action, caught right about the 15-yard line. They'll give forward progress, and that is Hank Brown with a quick pass. He was slot right, and he made the reception.
And that's a really good catch of the wet ball, the rain coming down, because that ball was a little high. Hank gets it above his head because that was one of those rockets from Smolik, and nice catch there for Hank.
Brings up 2nd and 5, Dowling at the Northwest 15-yard line. Maroons lead at 21-0. Handoff C.J. Phillip right up the gut, right over center and left guard. He grinds his way down to the 11-yard line. 30 seconds remaining in the half.
Clock ticking, and it looks like they'll be a little short of the first down, so I wouldn't be surprised if Dowling calls a timeout here. But they're going to get up and run it. 3rd and short, 23 seconds left. Clock's ticking.
2 timeouts remaining. Now under 20 seconds. 3 receivers right. Here's a handoff. C.J. Phillip got the first down, and the Maroons will call timeout here, I'm sure.
Well, the clock,
with 10 seconds remaining.
Even though the clock's going to stop, the clock will stop with the first down. They're going to call timeout.
We'll take one ourselves with 10 seconds left in the first half. Dowling 21 and Waukee Northwest nothing here in the Class 5A playoffs. Back in 1 minute on Iowa Catholic Radio.
It can be easy to look at how someone is dressing or acting and judge them. But have you ever thought about how much grace is available in these situations? The next time someone makes a questionable decision, instead of judging and condemning, uphold their dignity for them. We do greater good by lifting them up in prayer and respecting their personhood than if we mentally tear them apart in our thoughts. We can uphold the dignity of others even when they are unable to recognize their own value.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio is provided by Ashworth Vision Clinic. Complete eye exams, contact lenses, glasses, glaucoma testing, and pre- and post-operative care. 515-440-4610. AshworthVision.com.
Iowa Catholic Radio, connecting listeners to Christ every day with people like you.
Hi, I'm Beth Henderson from St. Boniface in Waukee. Thanks for listening to Iowa Catholic Radio.
All right, back here at Williams Stadium, Waukee Northwest and Dowling Catholic. The Maroons now with a 1st and goal from the 8. Back to throw Smolik. He's going to run with the football to see part of it. He goes into the end zone. Touchdown. Touchdown Dowling Catholic, and Jackson Smolik, as he had everybody split wide right and wide left, and there was nobody between the hash, and he gets in the end zone, gets hit in the end zone, touchdown, and the Maroons out to a 27-0 lead with 4 seconds left in the half, Matt.
You're exactly right, Mark, and it was something to see. Jackson steps up in the pocket. He realizes there's no one between him and the end zone. He takes off, and easy score for him.
All right, the extra point now by Schumacher. Andrews' boot is up and good. Snap from Hagan, the hold by Jepson. Dowling 28 and Waukee Northwest nothing. 4 seconds left to go in the first half. Back with the kickoff in 1 minute here on the Iowa Catholic Radio Network.
Whatever happened to the modern world? Hi, this is Cy Kellett, host of Catholic Answers Live. Join me on Saturday, December 10th at the Embassy Suites downtown for Iowa Catholic Radio's Dinner in December. I'll be speaking about what we can do to help recover a modern world fit for people. Plus, enjoy a fabulous meal and fellowship with your Iowa Catholic Radio family. Register today at iowacatholicradio.com, iowacatholicradio.com, and I'll look forward to seeing you on December 10th in downtown Des Moines.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio is provided by Construction Professionals. Construction Professionals does remodeling and new construction. Construction Professionals is a Catholic family business built on a strong foundation. CPCustomHomes.com. Thank you, Construction Professionals, for supporting Iowa Catholic Radio.
The next Mosaic Women's Lunch is Tuesday, November 15th at St. Augustine Parish in Des Moines at noon with Father Craig Vosick. Women, unlock the power of the Eucharist. Register at iowacatholicradio.com.
All right, here's the kickoff by Dowling Catholic, and once again deflected at the 5-yard line and picked up, and ball goes down, the knee goes down rather, and once again Waukee will have a first down with no time left, so we're going to go to halftime. Dowling leading 28-0. That last drive by the Maroons, Dowling going 22 yards on the short field, and it took them 9 plays. So Maroons lead at 28-0 at the half, and John Chida will be catching up with head coach Tom Wilson as we go to half. The Maroons leading. A pair of touchdowns by Jackson Smolik, 1 and 11-yard run. C.J. Phillip, a 3-yard run, and Rashad Davis, a 1-yard run, are the scoring in the first half for Dowling Catholic. John Chida, you have the head coach of Dowling Catholic, Tom Wilson, with you. Go ahead.
Well, Coach, the weather conditions not favorable, but you guys have been able to control the clock and the running game going and put Waukees in bad situations to start their drives.
Yeah, our kids have really done a nice job, to be honest with you, and we're able to pin them back. They may have helped us with that, but we've taken advantage of it. It's been a nice half by our players.
Well, Coach, best of luck second half. Thank you.
All right, John Chido on the sidelines on a very wet, damp, cold night. 39 degrees was our temperature before when we kicked off, and it seemed like we've been losing a degree. The rain did stop in most of the first quarter, but picked back up in the second quarter, so we'll be dealing with some rain. And you look out here, and we look through the lights on the stadium, and it is raining, so we're going to deal with that. But a lot of playoff games are dealing with that. And, Matt, before we go to break, our guest will be Jimmy Cataldo, the longtime sophomore and JV head football coach. Talk about the program with some of the new guys we'll be seeing here probably in the next few years. But you got to look at some of the scores around Class 5A, Matt.
Class 5A, we got Valley up on Cedar Falls 14-3. Southeast Polk is now ahead of Cedar Rapids Prairie 21-0. Johnston is up on Ankeny at the end of the first quarter 7-0. It's the last update we have there. And again, Van Meter up on for my wife at home. Van Meter's ahead 28-0.
You said you had one fan that wanted that Van Meter score.
That's right.
So that's awesome. Let's take a look at some of the first half statistics. Jared Seifert, who does a tremendous job in that math department. He's one of the Dowling sophomore football coaches with Coach Cataldo. He'll be talking about Coach Seifert. And let's take a look at some of the numbers here at halftime. Dowling with 200 yards of total offense. Waukee Northwest with just 22 yards of total offense. The Maroons have 60 yards passing, 140 yards on the ground. Waukee Northwest with 22 yards rushing and no passing yards in the first half. Northwest has been penalized once for 5 yards. Dowling's one penalty for 10 yards. Maroons with 14 first down. Northwest with just 1 first down. Jackson Smolik, 6 out of 8 passing, 60 yards, no touchdowns and no interceptions in the first half. Sam Johnson, the Waukee Northwest quarterback, 1 out of 2 passing for no yards. Leading ball carrier for Dowling Catholic, C.J. Phillip, 19 carries, 94 yards and a touchdown. Rashad Davis, 8 carries, 36 yards and a touchdown. And Jackson Smolik, 3 carries, 10 yards and a pair of touchdowns to lead Dowling. For Waukee Northwest, Sam Johnson's their leading ball carrier. The quarterback has 8 carries for 13 yards. And Brady Grissom, 200 yards, over 200 yards last week at Cedar Rapids Kennedy. Tonight, 7 carries, 9 yards. Leading receiver for Dowling Catholic, Cooper Nicholson, 2 catches, 44 yards. Bo Gamble, a pair of catches for 8 yards, as does Hank Brown, a pair of catches for 8 yards. For Waukee Northwest, Jackson Adams, 1 catch for no yards. And he's even got the tackles in here.
Yeah, they do that down below there, yeah.
Your guy, Wanek, you called his number, Matt. Jimmy Wanek leading Dowling with 3 tackles in the first half. Ralston Rumling with a pair of tackles. Dylan Manning, the sophomore linebacker, with 2 tackles, all as is Matt Hanton and Noah Seamer. Cody Hikas with a tackle and a half, as does Braden Pearson. Jack Moore with 1 tackle. Carson Hagan with the tackle. So some of those numbers, like that defensive stats that those guys. But for Dowling, in the first half, 200 yards of total offense, Waukee Northwest with 22. Matt?
One update, Johnston is up on Ankeny at the half, 10-0. So as it stands right now, and there's, a half of football to play in all 4 of those games yet, we're anticipating that the state would seed it just like they are right now. It would be Dowling and Valley versus Southeast Polk and Johnston as the scores line up right now. And that Johnston and Ankeny, we knew that game was going. We figured that game was going to be tight. I mean, I don't know if the Valley Cedar Falls game is a surprise, but we looked at those games and thought both of those were pretty even.
Keep in mind, they're all first half scores.
That's right.
There's a lot of football to be played.
A lot of football left.
All right, we're going to take a break here at halftime. Dowling with a 28-0 lead over Waukee Northwest. Mark Amadale, Matt Maindring, and John Chido down on the Dowling sideline. Wet, damp night, cold night for the final night outdoors for high school football. Every class, 8-player all the way to 5A, moves to the Unidome next week. But tonight we'll have to endure the weather conditions. We'll come back with head coach Jimmy Cataldo, the Dowling JV and sophomore coach, when we return after this 1-minute break here on the Iowa Catholic Radio Network.
Did you know you have a choice in your child's education? Smaller class sizes, dedicated teachers, a sense of community, and a caring learning environment. Whether it's in the classroom or at home, Diocese of Des Moines Catholic Schools deliver the best value in education, and we offer tuition assistance to help you afford it. Learn more about how the Catholic schools in the Des Moines Diocese might be the right choice for your child. Visit dmdiocese.org/schools.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio is provided by Dental Associates, addressing your smile needs and dreams. 515-225-6742. Des Moines-DentalAssociates.com. Thank you, Dental Associates, for your support of Iowa Catholic Radio.
Iowa Catholic Radio, connecting listeners to Christ every day with people like you.
Hi, I'm Father Chris Fontanini, the Catholic Diocese of Des Moines. Thank you for listening to Iowa Catholic Radio.
And welcome back to Duke Williams Stadium on Des Moines' east side. The rain is falling. We are at halftime. Dowling Catholic leading Waukee Northwest 28-0. Earlier, I caught up with Jimmy Cataldo, the head coach of the Dowling sophomore and JV squads, and talked with him about the program and some of the young men that are coming through. And we're going to be talking about probably this sometime next year, maybe sometime later this year. But here's my conversation with head coach Jimmy Cataldo. Mark Amadale now visiting with Jimmy Cataldo, the JV and sophomore head football coach at Dowling Catholic, also in the box during the varsity games. And Jimmy, thanks for taking time. I know we want to talk about the sophomores and, of course, Claude with the freshmen. But what a year you had! Congratulations! And I know you had the future Maroons, but some of them are kind of mixed in with this varsity group, and it's hard to believe. 11 years as the head coach at Dowling, 19 years on staff. Been around a while.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me in today and tonight, and this great game. And when you look at the past years, they kind of run consecutive, and it's hard to remember back, when you start and when you became a head coach. But certainly, what you do remember, a lot of the kids have gone through at least the lower levels and have done some great things here on the varsity level, and you're seeing a lot of that with our lower levels this year. And some of those kids are contributing, pretty well tonight.
Well, no question, Coach, because your job is to obviously get them ready for the next year. Some of these kids have gotten a little bit of a taste of varsity action with the running clock that the Maroons have been fortunate enough to put on teams. But let's talk about your group, the future Maroons coming through. And we may have heard these names a few times during the varsity game, but let's talk about this group. I know you finished your regular season, and we can talk about some of the future Maroons. Go ahead.
Well, certainly, we finished the year 6-3. It's one of those years that our sophomore numbers, were not great. Had a little over 40 kids. However, with the advent of some of the athletes we have in the sophomore, some of those kids were called up early, so we had to play more of a true JV roster this year. So we at any given time we had a good handful of juniors come down and play with us. The thing is nowadays is in this 3-level high school football, our opponents are playing juniors and sophomores. And so it's not that, we're putting together teams and kids that are coming down. In fact, we're playing kids that are much like the ages that we see across the field. And so this year, having about 8 or 9 juniors play with us along with the sophomore class that we had, finished the year 6-3, had some really good wins, lost to Ankeny Centennial, Southeast Polk, and Valley. All 3 games, those games, as I was telling the kids, I think we were the better team. at some point in that game, we just didn't come away with the win.
In numbers, Coach, obviously with the JV and sophomore mixture, what kind of numbers have you had this year at your level, and how they performed? Because you can probably run two-platoon football, and that's what you want to do.
We try to do that all the time. One of the things I tell my assistant coaches is that we do not want to see kids playing both sides of the ball. That we have enough kids that we can develop and certainly find ways to get as many kids on the field as we can. Now, at the end of the day, there's some kids that are juniors that need to see the field as well. So we finished with about 38 sophomores, at about 8 or 9 juniors that played with us. So we took rosters of about 45 kids, had a lot of opportunity to get kids on the field. But, there's certainly, those kids that you always sit there and you look and you want to get everybody on the field. And there were certainly some games we were able to do that. But what we saw this year out of these sophomores and juniors gives us a good idea of what we have coming next year and the year after that. And there's some talented kids at the sophomore JV level.
All right, Coach, let's mention some of these names. Let's start with your offense, and that's something that you specialize in, especially on Friday nights. You're in the booth next to me. Talk about the offensive kids in the JV sophomore football team at Dowling Catholic.
I always like to start with the quarterback because that's who I coach. And we had one sophomore quarterback this year, Parker DePhillips, who split time with the junior quarterback that would play with us, Jack Jepson. And Parker did a heck of a job. He unfortunately succumbed to an injury middle of the season that took him out of the season. So it allowed Jack Jepson to play several games with us. Had my son Dante play with us a couple games. But we even brought up two of the freshman quarterbacks, Maddox Capola and Joey Nejas, who contributed the best they can in a very, very atypical environment for them. Our tailback, I think, you're going to see a lot of him in the near future. We have really good tailbacks in Rashad Davis and C.J. Phillips, but Ian Middleton is one of those rare backs that we have. He's only a freshman, but his size, strength, and the way he runs the ball, he just runs the ball angry. And I like that about Ian Middleton, and you're going to see a lot of him. Big strength of our team is our receivers. They're also our defensive backs, but our receivers are some kids that do some really good things with the football. Jack Barrett played outside wideout for us, as well as Carter Nicholson and Joe Schmerdla, who's a individual came in over the winter, and we saw some really good things from Joe Schmerdla. Justin Burnett, Will Kelly also had some contributing roles over at the slot receiver. Our offensive line, certainly a couple sophomores that stood out to us. Carter Smith is a sophomore that did very well in a situation where you see a lot of junior defensive linemen. Carter Smith does a really good job, as well as Landon Embry, good size guard that we moved interior through the season. So Landon Embry, Leo Thornton, but then we brought down some juniors who played throughout the season with us that you may not hear on Friday nights, but had some significant time with us. Isaiah Seymour, Danny Frazier, Blake Krimick, Jake Slade, Dakota Beener are 5 juniors that we had with us throughout the season. And it was nice to have that group because they practice together, they understand each other. But it was nice to have those 5 guys work with us throughout the year.
Coach, that's quite a group on the offensive side. Let's move to the defensive side, and that's something Dowling has always prided itself on. I know by the time they get to varsity, they're looking for shutouts and guys that can play. And I know the Maroons had a sophomore up there, and Danny Manning started linebacker this year because Seymour was hurt until late. But you had a pretty good group on the defensive side, too.
I think the strength of our team and our defense is certainly our linebacking core. Guys that really stood out this year was Wyatt Jones, played our will linebacker, but Aiden Ducharme, who transferred over from Des Moines Christian, who these 2 guys likely could have played a lot of meaningful varsity minutes, but the varsity sees some talent in their varsity linebackers. Aiden Ducharme, who had to sit out because of the transfer rule, he was able to play with us and play some significant minutes. Keaton Schwager was our rover, along with Dylan Webb, 2 very athletic kids in our linebacking core. Up front, Owen Pins really stood out to us. Owen Pins is a sophomore defensive end that maybe through graduation this year with some of the varsity kids, that Owen Pins may be a young man who can step in and play some significant minutes next year. And then our corners, very similar type athletes, but we have some very talented corners. Parker Pearson Will Kelly and Joe Schmertla, as well as I mentioned earlier, some guys who can really defend the pass, and hopefully see a lot out of those 2 to 3 guys come next year.
And Coach Cataldo, your staff, your JV sophomore staff on the Dowling football team this past year, mention those because those coaches gave a lot of their time and talents to groom this team and get them ready for varsity. Mention some of those guys.
You know, these guys not only work with the sophomore kids, but they put a lot of time and effort in the preparation for the varsity games, and they've been working hand in hand with our defensive coaches this week, Todd Crandall, Ray Metz, Joseph Jurek, who's been a part of us. New this year, but was part of our system back in 2009. Jarek Seifert, who comes off of his baseball season and rolls right back into football, so he's not rested up too much, but he's helping us in our offensive side of the ball this week. And then Tommy Gall, who we know played with the Dowling program several years ago. A new coach that came to us this year as a volunteer who's really hit the ground running, and I just think the world of this young man, and he's done a fantastic job. He's really not a young man, but he's so new that he's just a sponge and trying to learn everything that we do, and that's Danny Spann. So that's our group. I also want to mention Zach Nicholson, who, you know, he's a guy that I work hand in hand with each day as we prepare in our sophomore schedule, our practice script. But Zach, who's also a teacher in the building, does a fantastic job, and then he'll be rolling into the basketball season as he'll be an assistant basketball coach here for the coming year.
Well, Jimmy, that's a lot of guys and young athletes coming through, and it's got to be exciting. I know it's always tough to see the season end, but some of these guys have been helping out with practice for the playoffs. And, of course, tonight, Dowling taking on Waukee Northwest. Some of these guys have been very intricate in that field as they've been assisting and getting the varsity ready.
Well, it's a total team effort, and you can't prepare over 90 kids with some of the sophomores who do practice up during the playoffs to give a great scout look, and a lot of these sophomores have contributed in the help of preparing this team tonight, and it takes an entire team to put this together, and we have a roadmap that works pretty well, but certainly all their efforts and everything all these young men have put in since as I've talked to since January of last year is when we really started preparing for this, and a lot of kids really transformed the way they look, the way they play, and we saw a lot of some positive things out of these kids, and we'll see a lot of that in a couple years to come.
Coach, thanks for taking time tonight, and thanks for all you do in the Dowling program. I mean, JV sophomore coach for, as I mentioned, the head coach, 11 years, 19 years on staff, and of course, Friday nights, you're next to us with the kind of one of the offensive minds for Coach Wilson, and has done a pretty good job. So hats off to you. It's a long week, a long season, and we're going to get you warmed up for basketball because I look forward to you sitting next to me in basketball. And we can kind of recap some of the football season during those games. But Jim Cataldo, thanks for all you do.
I appreciate it, and you wouldn't do this for so many years if you didn't enjoy what you did, and I enjoy working with all these guys here, and it makes winning a lot of fun, and seeing the enthusiasm out of these young men each week make it enjoyable to show up every day.
That's head coach Jimmy Cataldo, the Dowling JV and sophomore head coach, joining me here at halftime. Dowling leading 28-0 over Waukee Northwest, along with Matt Mainring and John Chido. I'm Mark Amadale. Back with the second half after this 1-minute break here on Iowa Catholic Radio.
Has anyone ever told you to pray about it and left you thinking, okay, but how? First, invite the Holy Spirit to be with you as you talk to God. Think about what is going on in your heart and mind. Be honest. Acknowledge to God what you're thinking, feeling, and desiring, because He wants you, the real you. Then, tell Him about what you're experiencing and entrust that to Him. Finally, let the Father love us. Ask yourself, how is God loving me right now? He is loving always. Sometimes we need to stop and think of our blessings, because that is where we can find God.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio comes from Mercy One, your expert circle of personalized care for all your health needs. With more care locations than anyone, your best life is their one purpose. Find your doctor at mercy1.org. Listen to Making It Personal with Bishop William Joensen Friday mornings at 9 on Iowa Catholic Radio or on demand at iowacatholicradio.com and the Iowa Catholic Radio app.
All right, and the kickoff by Dowling, returned by the Wolves up to the 17-yard line. Now on first down, the Wolves a running play to Grissom, and just a little bit of yardage. Dowling 28 and Waukee Northwest nothing. It'll bring up second down and 8 for the Wolves on their own 19-yard line. Mark Amadale, Matt Maindring, John Chido. The rain continues here at Duke Williams Stadium on Des Moines' east side. Maroons jumped out to a 28-0 halftime lead. Waukee with the first possession. On play action, back to throw is Johnson. He threw it away as Sam Johnson, the Waukee Northwest quarterback, scrambled out of the pocket, Matt, because he had a couple of Maroons chasing him down.
Carson Hagan on the chase there, and Johnson, the only thing he could do as he rolled out to his right was to get rid of it out of bounds and save the sack.
That'll bring up third down and 8 for the Wolves on their own 19-yard line. Go down to John Chido after this play, get his report. The rain, we can tell you, is still coming down. Temperatures in the upper 30s, and the wind out of the north at 10 miles per hour. Waukee Northwest going right to left or south to north into this 10-mile-an-hour wind. On play action, back to throw is Johnson. He's hit, and he throws the ball. He's in the grass, but it's incomplete. Falls harmlessly to the turf, but he was in the grasp of one of the Maroons, and it'll bring up fourth down.
I believe that was Dylan Manning right there. He's got such a long reach, Dylan does, and he was able to get a jersey, get his hands on the jersey of Johnson and get it going.
All right, let's go down to John Chido, bring up fourth down. And, Johnny, your thoughts at halftime as we get you in here.
Well, you think about at halftime what the adjustments each team's going to make. And I think Dowling's going to stick to their game plan of running the football successfully to that short side of the field. But you want to see if Waukee Northwest is going to change some things, and they did. But when you got a guy like Carson Hagan chasing you, you can only do so much.
Yeah, that is true. And now the punt goes to the 49-yard line. Thank you, John. He's down there in the rain with the umbrella, as the Maroons will have it first and 10 from the Northwest 49-yard line as the punt by the Wolves. And, again, we've given you some scores. I want to mention tonight's group, the game officials are Jeff Carson, Philip Johnson, Griffin Carr, Josh Bevins, and Nate Steege. And, of course, our chain gang over there on the far side, led by the captain, Kevin Morris, Pat Reinhardt, Kevin Gass, Frank Chido, and Darren Marasco. I know one of those guys, maybe a couple of them. But they're, for the most part, all right. Back to throw Smolik, fires it out, caught in the far sideline and run out of bounds near a first down at the 40-yard line. Was that Cooper Nicholson?
I believe it was. It was hard to see as he got the ball. It is Cooper Nicholson out there, right on the edge.
And I saw Gamble blocking for him, so I knew it wasn't him.
Yeah. Quick throw there from Smolik to Nicholson for a quick 8 yards as Dowling looks to take advantage of the short field again and move right down the field.
Offensive line for Dowling, Rockers, Batterton, Shelton, Agos, and Nahas, along with Jalen Thompson, Danny Nielsen, the tight ends. They give it to the tailback, and he pushes forward. He has the first down as the officials stop the clock as Dowling gets back to the run game.
Rashad Davis up the middle.
Rashad in.
Yeah,
all right.
Rashad Davis shot through there, got up into the line of scrimmage, got just enough for a first down. And now that brings Ben Hoover is now in the game, is that utility back in place of
Hunter Crutchlow,
who went down earlier. So Ben Hoover in the game.
Came limping off, so Hoover gets the shot there. As first down, Dowling, the 39 of Northwest. Handoff goes to Rashad Davis, kind of danced around, finally brought down at the 36 for a gain of 3. As the Maroons keep the ground game going on a miserable night. Upper 30s, the rain coming down, and when you can see the rain coming through the lights here, the stadium lights rather, you know it's coming down. We got away with it in the first quarter. The rain stopped right before kickoff, but it is back.
It is back. You can see it hitting the bleachers at a pretty good clip here, and makes for not very.
Lots of umbrellas.
Yes.
Mr. Maindring, lots of them. All right, 2nd and 6 Maroons. Line of scrimmage is the 35, and the give is to Rashad Davis. And Rashad's still on his feet, shoots through there, and he's got the first down. They're going to spot him down right about the 23, maybe the 24-yard line, somewhere in there of Northwest.
And he scoots up into the line there, and Grant Mackey actually comes and chases him down from behind because he had to hesitate for a little bit and gets Rashad Davis down. Otherwise, there was nobody left for him in the end zone. And when Rashad runs, he's like a little hopping all the time. His feet never really on the ground, so he can switch directions in a hurry.
First down, Dowling. Rashad on a 12-yard run, 1st and 10 Maroons at the Northwest 23-yard line. One back in the backfield, and that is Davis, 2 receivers right. Now they'll flip-flap the tight ends, and that's Ben Hoover, the utility back, along with Jalen Thompson to the left side. They'll run it left side, and they run it at inside move to over left guard. The play was going right, and they ran him kind of like a counter to the left, and he stacked up the line, and little or no gain, maybe a yard.
Well, Waukee Northwest is bringing everybody up the line of scrimmage. They essentially are putting everybody up in that box, bringing and blitzing, and so they get him really from the back side as they chased him down from the edges there on that play.
All right, this will be the 6th play of the Dowling drive, which started at the Northwest 49-yard line. It's 2nd and 10 from the 23, as there was no gain on that last play by Davis. Quarterback is Jackson Smolik, the senior, has thrown for 18 touchdowns and has 4 interceptions and over 1,700 yards this year. The shotgun, the give is to Davis, left side. Now cuts back right side, cut back into the grain. He's finally hit and still on his feet. Forward progress to about the 21-yard line for a pickup of 2. But there's a lot of running in there and a lot of struggling with Rashad, but he got a couple yards.
He got hit really good, too, and Harry Linen came up and really laid a pop on him, but Rashad just kept the feet moving and bounced outside. Didn't get a lot of yards, but showed a little bit of his toughness right there on that run.
We'll keep you updated with some of the 5A scores as the winners advance to the Unidome next Friday for the semifinals, either at 4 or 7 p.m., and that'll all be determined tonight and probably by tomorrow morning. All right, the Maroons with 1 receiver left, 2 to the right, Dowling going left to right, north to south, hand up. Well, it was Rashad Davis, the fake, and then Smolik kept the ball behind him.
Yeah.
Fullback came through on the backside. He gets inside the 20, and Smolik all the way down. I'm going to call it the 18-yard line, gain of 3.
They're going to put the field goal unit on the field here, and this is a pretty long field goal into the wind. Schumacher has done so well for the Maroons this year as they get him out there with not a whole lot of wind. And, Johnny, it doesn't look like there's a ton of wind out there, just the rain.
Yeah, it's just rain. It's not really windy, but the snap and the hold here is going to make a difference here.
All right, this will be a 36-yard field goal towards the south end zone. Ball down, kick high enough, kick long enough, and I believe it's good. It is.
That's a great kick.
Officials come up with the signal of good. Great kick by Andrew Schumacher. And with a wet ball, we forgot to add that. And Dowling now leads at 31-0 over Waukee Northwest. We'll take a break and come back with the kickoff here on Iowa Catholic Radio.
Matt Wilkham here from Iowa Catholic Radio. I'd like to thank you for your continued support of this apostolate. Because of you, we're reaching more souls in more ways than ever before. Whether you've had your faith strengthened by either our talk or music channels, or if you've been impacted by one of our other outreach initiatives, you experience firsthand the value Iowa Catholic Radio brings to the Catholic and Christian community. If you haven't made the decision yet to become a family member, please consider a $30 a month sustaining gift. Just visit iowacatholicradio.com, and welcome to the family.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio is provided by Skeffington's Formalware, in business since 1951, with locations in Des Moines, West Des Moines, Coralville, and Ankeny. Skeffington's Formalware, fitting you for life celebrations. Online at skeffingtons.com.
Iowa Catholic Radio, connecting listeners to Christ every day with people like you.
Hi, I'm Kim Dietrich from St. Joseph Catholic School in Des Moines. Thank you for listening to Iowa Catholic Radio.
And we're back here at Duke Williams Stadium in Des Moines. Mark Amadale alongside Matt Mandering, John Chido, as kickoff by Dowling and Schumacher boots in the end zone. Touchback will be 1st and 10. Waukee Northwest on their own 20-yard line going into about a 10-mile-an-hour wind, they're saying. But the Maroons lead it 31-0 on an Andrew Schumacher 36-yard field goal to cap off a 8-play, 49-yard drive back down to the Dowling sideline with the umbrella, and that is John Chido. Johnny, take it away.
Yeah, if I was the return man at this situation on the kickoff return, I'd let that one bounce in the end zone, especially with the wet condition, and it's been troublesome for the Waukee Northwest handling that ball, and they've been starting with bad field position up until this point.
You're exactly right, John. They made the right decision there, letting that thing go in and at least get the ball to 20. This is some of their better starting field position.
All right, the Wolves with a 2nd down and 10 as the first pass was incompleted by Johnson, the Waukee Northwest quarterback. He goes to the right side and he threw it away, had pressure on him, And it's incomplete. Threw it into the Waukee Northwest sideline. So that'll bring up 3rd and 10. So Wolves, and Coach Wilson's really good at this, Matt. As you know, he likes to take away their strength. Well, he's taken away the running game tonight, both by Grisham, who had 200 yards of rushing last week at Cedar Rapids Kennedy, and their quarterback, and now he's forced them to pass.
He is, and right there, Hagan and Joe Hughes both made him throw that ball over their hands.
Low snap. Johnson has it, launches in the air, and the pass is intercepted. Intercepted at midfield by Dowling Catholic, and what a job by the Maroons.
Jake
Anderson stepped in front of it, and that is his second interception of the year at the 45-yard line of Waukee Northwest.
That's one of those plays where Sam Johnson just threw it up and figured this is just as good as a punt, because he did. He threw that ball up there, and it was anybody's ball, and Jake had it eyed the whole way, and it looked like Jake was the receiver on that play as he was waiting for the ball to come down and makes a great interception, Dowling ball to 45. And
Coach Chido, you can attest to the technique that Jake used. He got inside position.
Yeah, and he ran shoulder to shoulder with the receiver. You're absolutely right there, Mark.
Yeah. All right. Handoff on first down, and that is C.J. Phillip, and he goes from the Northwest 45-yard line, and he's still on his feet, and he went running, crashed down right about the 37-yard line.
And he was motoring through people, and Tim Thomason was the last one to get his hands on him and drag him down again. And C.J. Phillips, 642 yards coming into the game with 11 touchdowns, has had a really good night. He's run really strong, especially between the tackles.
Second down and 3 for the Maroons. Handoff again to Phillip, and he kind of picks his hole over the A-gap, right over center, and he dives forward. They're going to put his knee down right at the 37. No gain officially,
no gain.
Even though the pile moved. But his knee must have hit the ground. Referee spotted him down there, so the linesman will be no gain. It'll be 3rd down, and they're going to call it 3.
Waukee is doing a better job at the start of this half of creating a pile at the line of scrimmage. And you see the big men they have up front, Cale Winter, Kyle Croft, 235, 245. Those guys are making a pile there, making it a little bit harder to run between the tackles.
3rd and 2, Dowling at the Northwest 37-yard line. Handoff Phillip. He uses the short side of the field. He's got the first down, gets out of bounds. Right around the 30-yard line, they'll spot him. First down, Dowling, a gain of 7.
And the coaching staff saw the same thing and went to the edge that time. And so they pull again. They're pulling Batterton from the backside, and he turns and leads it to the short side of the field around the corner, and C.J. Phillip follows him for a first down.
5:15 remaining here in the third quarter. Dowling 31, Waukee Northwest nothing. Winner advances to the Unidome in Cedar Falls next Friday night, either the 4 or the 7 o'clock kickoff. 3 receivers left. 1 back in the backfield. 1st and 10. The handoff goes to the tailback. And does C.J. Phillips stay in there, or are they interchanging tailbacks right now?
Yep,
still in there.
Yeah.
So Maroons are not far away from getting the running clock here, Matt, in the playoffs.
They probably a lot of people sitting here with umbrellas on this side of the stadium that are hoping that happens. But right now, again, trying to run between tackles right now, Waukee has made it difficult in there. And, again, that was Croft and Winter on the stop for Waukee as C.J. Phillip had nowhere to run.
Gain of 1, so it's 2nd and 9 Dowling. Line of scrimmage, the 29-yard line in Northwest. Here's a snap. Smolik on play action. Back to throw. Fires it over the middle towards the end zone's got a man open, and it is incomplete. In and out of the hands of Trey Wilson. He had it and then stripped away by the defender, and a great job by the Waukee defensive back there, the Northwest corner.
He did, because the ball was in his hands. Trey had a chance to bring it in, but it was in coverage there. Grant Mackey. He makes a great play, knocks the ball out of Trey's hands, and prevents a touchdown.
So that'll bring up 3rd and 10 for Dowling Catholic. Line of scrimmage, the Northwest 29-yard line. He's now getting their personnel in. They'll bring Bo Gamble, Cooper Nicholson, and Trey Wilson split out wide to the left. Trips to the left and 1 receiver to the right, and that is Jalen Thompson. Low snap. Smolik picks it up. Now wants to throw. Dances in the pocket. Rolls to his left. Still rolling. And angling towards the far sideline. He's going to keep it. He's got the first down and out of bounds right about the 15-yard line. Great job by Jackson. He picked up about 14 yards, or rather 9 yards, and a first down.
And that run he did in the first half where he threw the ball when he was scrambling is his exact same play, same, rolling to the other side of the field. His ability to throw on the run kept the defenders on the receivers long enough that he was able to run for the first down there. And that's what makes it so challenging to defend someone like Jackson Smolik because he's fast.
Yeah, out of bounds at about the 17-yard line, gain of 12. It's 1st and 10 Dowling from the 17 of Northwest. 5 receivers set, fires it out. It's caught, and that is Bo Gamble on the left side out of bounds right around the 10. And they're going to spot him not quite towards the 10, maybe the 12, but a pickup of 5.
Quick pickup there again, going to the air just a little bit more as Waukee, the Northwest Wolves are loading the box, and they're loading it around the line of scrimmage, so they're taking what they're giving them right now.
Gain of 5. They bring up 2nd and 5, and now the end around, they give it to Trey Wilson, and he's hit and dropped back at the 23-yard line. Well defended, well set up by Dowling, but well defended by the Wolves as they hit Wilson on the end around.
Hunter Smith stayed home and did the motion and the reverse didn't fool him at all. He stayed home, and Trey Wilson ran right into him for a big loss. So now it's 3rd and 17, 3rd and 15.
Yeah, loss of 10 there. And they're calling it 3rd and 15. Gamble and Wilson split out wide to the left, 2 receivers to the right. It's Jalen Thompson and Cooper Nicholson. One back in the backfield. That's C.J. Phillip. Smolik, the quarterback. Back to throw. Sets up in the pocket. Now dances around looking for a gap, and he's going to be sacked. Back at the line of scrimmage for no gain. It'll bring up 4th down and 15 for the Maroons from the Northwest 22.
Well, 4th and 15, and now it's going to be a 40-yarder. Now, the last one he kicked, Schumacher, would have been good from 40. So this is on the other hash. This being a left hash. Again, with no wind, and the rain has slowed a little bit, and so here Schumacher lines up. It's going to actually be a 39-yard field goal.
Yeah, they'll set the ball down at the 29, so as you mentioned, 39-yard field goal, left hash, kicking left to right towards the south end zone. The holder is Jack Jepson. Hagan with the snap, good hold, ball's long enough, high enough, and it is good! How about that, Andrew Schumacher from 39 yards out. And the Maroons lead it 34-0 with 2.5 minutes left to go third quarter. We'll take a break and come back to Williams Stadium in Des Moines on a damp and cold night. Dowling 34 and Waukee Northwest nothing on Iowa Catholic Radio.
Did you know you have a choice in your child's education? Smaller class sizes, dedicated teachers, a sense of community, and a caring learning environment. Whether it's in the classroom or at home, Diocese of Des Moines Catholic Schools deliver the best value in education, and we offer tuition assistance to help you afford it. Learn more about how the Catholic schools in the Des Moines Diocese might be the right choice for your child. Visit dmdiocese.org/schools.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio is provided by CTO. Your support has helped thousands of students attend our Catholic schools. CTOiowa.org. At CTO, the bottom line, it's for the kids and their future.
Listen to Man Up with Joe Stopulos Monday mornings at 9 on Iowa Catholic Radio and on demand at iowacatholicradio.com and the Iowa Catholic Radio app.
All right, we're back here at Williams Stadium, Waukee Northwest on the return, and gets across the 15 up to about the 16-yard line. That's where Northwest will start. 1st and 10 with 2:22 remaining here in the third quarter. Dowling 34 and Waukee Northwest nothing. Mark Amadale, Matt Maynard. Let's go down to John Scheida, who's on the Dowling sideline. The Maroons settling for another Andrew Schumacher field goal, Johnny, from 39 yards out.
Yeah, he's Andrew's had a good night. The weather conditions aren't affecting his kicking. He's going through his motions, and it's like a bright, sunny day with him. And he's hit 2 big ones here. And Vinny Bertonoli on that tackle and that kickoff, boy, again, another good night for him in special teams, just like he left off last week.
Yeah, and he's also got a blocked punt tonight and recovery that gave Dowling field position for another touchdown. That was back in the first half. That actually set up a Jackson Smolik 1-yard run as the Maroons led at halftime 28-0, and Dowling's tacked on a pair of field goals here in the third quarter. Now we've got a delay out there. Matt, I know you're trying to go through the some of the scores and get an update.
Trying to get a couple updates
Playoff
here.
Games.
Again, Valley's up at half, 17-3 on Cedar Falls. No update in the second half. Again, these are all halftime. Southeast Polk is up on Cedar Rapids Prairie, 21-0. Johnston was up on Ankeny, 10-0 at the half. And those are the games.
All right, we want to take a moment to thank our supporters of Iowa Catholic Radio. They include Skeffington's Formal Wear, Catholic Tuition Organization, and Mercy One. Bows in the Floors, our Red Zone sponsor, 515-244-ROSE. That's 244-7673. Our thanks to Ashworth Vision Clinic, Construction Professionals, and Dental Associates. Now 1st and 10, Waukee Northwest from their own 18-yard line, and Johnson's pass is incomplete. Sam tried to hit his receiver on the near sideline and couldn't hook up with him, so it'll bring up 2nd and 10, Wolves from their own 18-yard line. And Dowling leading 34-0.
Yeah, he's trying to hit his tight end, Isaiah Moody, out there in the left flats on the wide side of the field, and the ball and the defender got there at the same time, incomplete.
All right, here's the snap, and the give is to Grisham. Right up the gut he goes. He's got the first down. That might be his first carry, more than 5 yards. He gets across the 30, up near the 33-yard line. So that is Waukee's biggest production, and Brady Grisham finally gets untracked.
He does, and that's exactly where they found the weakness in Cedar Rapids Kennedy's defense last week, was right up the middle and over the center and guards, and a big gain for the Wolves.
15-yard gain, first down Northwest at their own 33-yard line. Here's a snap. Read option, back to throw is Johnson over the middle. Ball's tipped and intercepted. Picked off by Dowling at midfield, and now on the return at the 40-yard line. And brought down at the 35-yard line in Northwest territory. And the Maroons got their second pick of the night. And I believe that is number 23, Nick Frericks.
Nick Frericks on that interception. And good play by him. You practice that tip drill all the time in practice, and right there he got it. The ball got tipped, and he was able to get his hands on it and make a big pick.
And Johnny, his first interception of the year. The Dowling defense has come up big this season. That is their, with Anderson's interception, that was their 8th. That's their 9th interception of the season.
Yeah, Nick Frericks, like Matt said, ball tip drills, nice hand-eye coordination there to stay with that play and to come up with that interception. That's great to see for Nick.
All right, first down Dowling, and
Cataldo.
Cataldo in at quarterback. Yep. Just say a lot of new faces in there as Maroons are trying to get the running clock. Minute and a half to go here in the third quarter. Dowling up 34-0, and that was Moore in at tailback, Jack Moore with the carry.
Yeah, this would be Jack Moore time as he gets in there and gets some of those hard yards here as the clock winds down in the third quarter with Dowling up 34-0.
Second down from the 35, 2nd and 9, handoff Moore, right side, follows his blocking, still on his feet, and he finally ran out of bounds shy of the 30-yard line, right around the 32-yard line, pick up a 3.
And again, they have not changed out the offensive line, so it's still across the front, Rockers, Batterton, Shelton, Agos, and Nejas, who have had a really good night again, and they're creating room for, and with Ben Moore at that utility back, are creating room for more right now.
Yeah, Ben Hoover, you mentioned.
Ben Hoover, yeah.
Number 44. He is the utility back. Pistol formation, and it'll bring up 3rd and 5 for Dowling. Cataldo, that's Dante Cataldo, the junior quarterback. The give is to Moore, and he slices down inside the 30. He'll be shy of the first down. Quick opener, but he was covered immediately down to the 29-yard line, pick up a 3, and it'll bring up 4th down for Dowling.
Shoestring tackle there, just got him. Otherwise, he would have gotten the first down and ran for the first down, but someone just got a lace there as he tripped him up as he went down.
Dowling approaching the Bozen Flores Red Zone, bozen.com, and you can say more with Bozen. You can also call them at 515-244-ROSE, 244-7673, and that's the final seconds ticking down to the third quarter. We'll go to the fourth quarter after this break. The score, Dowling Catholic 34 and Waukee Northwest nothing. 5A quarterfinals underway here at Duke Williams Stadium on Des Moines' east side. Rainy, cold night. We'll be back with the fourth quarter in 1 minute here on the Iowa Catholic Radio Network.
This is a Young Catholic Minute. Why do I have to follow so many rules? Last week, I made some cookies. Shut up, guys can make cookies if we want. Anyway, I didn't want to follow that oppressive, rule-oriented recipe anymore. So instead of a cup of sugar, I substituted a cup of arsenic. The cookies were pretty terrible, but they illustrate a very good point. When we ask why we have to follow rules, we're really asking if we can trust God. If God is a tyrant who uses rules to oppress us and ruin our lives, then yeah, why would we want to follow those rules? But is he giving us rules to prevent us from being happy? Or is he giving us the perfect recipe for happiness? When we understand that God wants us to have life and have it to the full, we can start living like he wants us to. And we won't need rules anymore. For more, go to youtube.com/youngcatholic.
Listener-supported Iowa Catholic Radio, 1150 AM KWKY Des Moines, 94.5 FM K233BT Des Moines, 88.5 FM KIHS Adel. Online anytime at iowacatholicradio.com.
All right, the first play of the fourth quarter here at Duke Williams Stadium. Dante Cataldo back to pass. Hits Michael Reichart with it, and the Maroons get a first down right about the 25-yard line of Northwest, a gain of 4 on the reception by Reichart. Cataldo at quarterback, read option to give us to Moore, and he's hit and dropped right at the point of attack, and he may have lost a yard. He did, a couple of them, back to the 27-yard line. Dowling leading 34-0 as we're underway here in the fourth quarter. Matt?
You got one update, and I can't tell if they made the extra point or not, but it looks like Ankeny has scored. That is for sure, so it is 10-6. Johnston up on Ankeny right now. Not sure about the extra point, and it looks like Ankeny has now picked off the ball as well.
Yeah, you wonder how that's all going to play out as Johnston's had the lead most of that game. 3 receivers left, hand off to Moore. Shifts and dives, penalty flags down, and so does Moore. He's down inside the 20-yard line. Nice run of about 7, maybe 8 yards. They put him down to 19, but penalty flags may bring this back. Holding on Dowling Catholic, so that will bring it back 10 yards. That wipes out the Moore carry.
And they no mic there. No.
They may have shut that off.
Yeah, they may have. So now it makes a second and a bunch here for the Maroons.
And they put the ball back to the
that's a long ways back.
Northwest 38-yard line, it looks like. Lost 11 yards.
Yeah, so it's second and 23 now.
Maroons going with the 5-receiver set with Dante Cataldo, the young junior. No backs in the backfield. Cataldo looks right, throws right. The ball is caught. Nice catch on the far sideline. And with the football running down the far sideline, did he get in? Touchdown, Dowling. He did get in. What a run that time after the catch by the Dowling receiver, and that's Matthew Kerner on the reception.
Matt Kerner?
How about that?
Yeah. So there were two. Yeah. There were 2 defenders. And they both kind of went for the ball, but the ball shot over him. Cataldo got it just over their hands. Matt Kerner gets it and darts down the sideline for the touchdown.
Yeah, for Cataldo, that's his second touchdown catch or pass of the year. And for Kerner, his first reception. And the extra point is up, and it is good. Nice job that time by Marty Blount in for the extra point. And Dowling now has a running clock going. 41-0 Maroons. 10:21 left to go, fourth quarter. Back in 1 minute here on the Iowa Catholic Radio Network.
Jimmy, do you take Judy to be your wife? To have and to hold?
Uh-huh.
For richer or poorer?
Okay.
Are you listening, Jimmy?
Jimmy?
Till death do you part?
Sure, right after I finish putting up this wall between us. There.
Jimmy, you're not dead yet.
When you use artificial contraception, it's like putting a wall between you and your spouse. Couples who instead regulate fertility naturally experience happier marriages and are less likely to divorce. Tear down the wall.
A message from Iowa Catholic Radio.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio is provided by Ashworth Vision Clinic. Complete eye exams, contact lenses, glasses, glaucoma testing, and pre- and post-operative care. 515-440-4610. AshworthVision.com.
Iowa Catholic Radio, connecting listeners to Christ every day with people like you.
Hi, this is Father Mark Neal from the Diocese of Des Moines. Thank you for listening to Iowa Catholic Radio.
back here at Williams Stadium as Dowling kicking off into the wind against to Waukee Northwest, fielded at the 15-yard line, and here on the return near side, crossing the 30, and finally run out of bounds is the return man for Waukee Northwest. That's Brady Grisham, and the Wolves will have it there. And we'll go down to John Chido. What a nice drive by the Dowling second unit, Johnny. They went 7 plays, 36 yards, capped off by Dante Cataldo's 38-yard touchdown pass to Matt Kerner, and Matt's first touchdown reception of the year.
Yeah, and Mark, like you mentioned, it was 2nd and 23 because of the holding penalty.
Mm-hmm.
And then Cataldo with the rifle, and he threw that high and outside where Kerner is the only guy to make that be able to make that reception, because you had 2 defenders coming down strong, and if that ball is thrown inside, it's going the other way. But Dante threw a nice bullet pass, and then Matthew Kerner, what a great catch and run after that.
Yeah, it certainly is. And now injured Maroon, who gets up slowly. That's Jake Anderson on special teams, and he walks off under his own power, but you can tell he was shaken up, and that's something you don't want to see, especially when a game has kind of gotten out of hand, and the Maroons with a 41-0 lead. Handoff goes to Grissom from the Northwest 33-yard line, and he gets up to about the 35, maybe the 36 for a gain of 3 here, Matt.
Yeah, Dowling has now rotated pretty much everybody out defensively, and the second set of guys is in as they work here to stop Waukee.
All right, the Wolves with it, 2nd down and 7 from their own 36, and Johnson, Sam, lateral pass on the left side, caught, but stood up and dropped right at the point of attack, right at the 39-yard line for a gain of 3 is the receiver.
Good stop out there, and I believe as it's across the field there, Justice Williams still on the field for the Maroons as he came up and helped on that stop, I believe. And it might have been also... Oh, wait till after this play.
3rd and 4. Now Johnson on play action fires it out, and it's caught, and that's Jackson Adams. He's got the first down, crosses midfield, and finally brought down at the Dowling 45. And a nice tackle that time by the Maroons, Gage Brinker on the stop.
Yeah, and Isaac Dulo on the stop for the Maroons as they came out there and got the hit.
So the Wolves in Dowling territory at the 45-yard line.
We're going to take Dylan Manning off. I don't know if...
Yeah, I think it's precautionary because Dylan was the one on that hit there, and he kind of got shaken up a little bit.
I'm making sure he's all right.
So 1st and 10 now for the Wolves in the Dowling 45. And on play action, Johnson back to throw, airs it out, fires left side, got a man open, but it's incomplete. As he had a one-on-one coverage, it was Jackson Adams, the senior wide receiver, as he was overthrown.
Kenny James in coverage there, and I believe it was Kenny James that was up on that one, the quick pass on the outside that came up and make the hit right away. That young man has done very well when he's been in the games this year.
Tonight's game on Iowa Catholic Radio brought to you in part by Skeffington's Formal Wear, Catholic Tuition, and the Mercy One. Mark Amadale, Matt Maindring, John Chido on a cold, damp night here for the playoffs. And Grisham breaking tackles. He finally gets the near first down right at the shy of the 35. They're going to call it the 36. And going to bring up 3rd and short.
3rd and real short as they spot him down just short of that of the marker. So it's 3rd and less than a yard for the Wolves.
Gain of 9 that time by Grisham, actually 9.5. Now the Wolves looking to their sideline to get their second set of called plays. 3 receivers left, tight end on the right. Grisham in the backfield. Johnson, the handoff to Grisham, and he runs left, got the first down, didn't need much, and got down to about the 33-yard line for a gain of 3.
He shook off a big hit there by Jimmy Wanek as Jimmy Wanek come up and tried to get him to get the stop there for the first down, but he was able to bounce forward and get that. Jimmy Wanek is now, I think, basically running probably calling the plays out there defensively as he's in the middle.
All right, Cooper Chifus, receiver on the right side. Back to throw is Johnson on play action. Looks for Chifus, and he overthrows everybody. Incomplete on coverage for Dowling was a couple defenders in the end zone.
Isaac Dolo there on defense and had good coverage back there for the Maroons along with Nick Frericks. And, again, Sam Johnson taking a shot down the field, trying to get on the board for the Wolves.
2nd and 10, Wolves from the Dowling 33. Bruins trying to go back-to-back shutouts in the playoffs. Back to throw Johnson. He fires it out, and it's caught Chifus with the catch. Cooper trying to get outside the numbers. He does, and it makes no difference. The clock will continue to run after the first down.
Kenny James, I believe, Kenny James on the stop, and he's a little bit dinged, and so he's going to stay down. They're going to stop the clock here and get some attention over to him.
All right, gives us a moment to go down to John Chido. Johnny, we've got talk about post-game with a few of the interviews tonight. Who comes to mind for you?
Well, the way Dowling was able to run the ball and control the line of scrimmage, it's got to be the offensive lineman and either Rashad or in CJ. That's my opinion. Defensively, everybody played pretty well on defense tonight too.
Yeah, they kind of shut things down, and probably that front three as much
front
as
three,
they.
yeah.
I don't know if we've had Hanton on, but C.J. Phillip, I don't know when's the last time we talked to him, but he had a really good night running the football
sure did.
as well.
Yeah, we'll kind of play that by ear. Keep that in mind. Here's a snap. Johnson back to throw on 1st and 10 from the 22-yard line, and he fires it incomplete. I want to mention, Matt, open house this Sunday at Dowling Catholic. It'll be from 11 to 2 this Sunday, November 6th, at Dowling Catholic High School, and families and students of all ages are encouraged to attend.
Yeah, if you're ever, if you don't have a student at Dowling right now and you're thinking about sending your kid to Dowling High School, get out there Sunday and see what we have to offer in the building, and it will give you a snapshot, definitely, and a little taste of what it's like to be a Maroon.
2nd and 10. Johnson now under duress. He's going to keep the football, running with it inside the 20, inside the 15, and run out of bounds just shy of the 10-yard line is quarterback Sam Johnson of Waukee Northwest.
He just escaped the sack back there and was able to take off toward the northwest sideline and get the first down. The thing with the open house is all of our teachers will be there, and administratively everyone's around, and all coaches, activities. Anybody that you want to talk to or anything you have an interest in, they'll be there on Sunday.
Hand off to Grisham. He stood up the 5, dives towards the end zone. He gets down to the 1-yard line. And, boy, that looked like he was shot out of a cannon. And Grisham nearly got the touchdown from the 11-yard line down at the 1, and he's near a first down. He got it. First and goal.
He did.
First and goal, Northwest on the run by Grisham, right over center.
Right over center. Again, that's where they found their strength last week. And
under 4.5 minutes remaining, and the handoff to Grisham. Touchdown, Waukee Northwest. They get on the board. They avoid the shutoff. Touchdown, Wolves, with 4:35 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Dowling up 41-6, pending the extra point. Grisham on a 1-yard run.
Strong run by Grisham, and for him, a good way to end the senior year. You always want to get in that end zone at the end. You remember the last game.
Yeah, that's right, your final game.
Yes.
All right, Wyatt Christensen, the backup quarterback, in the hold, and the PAT attempted by Jack Gearhart. He's 22 of 25. Ball down, kick is up, and it is good. So it is 41-7, Dowling with 4.5 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter. Back to Williams Stadium on Des Moines East Side after this timeout here on the Iowa Catholic Radio Network.
Iowa Catholic Radio Business Underwriters provide people with the opportunity to hear the Word of God and grow in their faith each and every day. Our business supporters have helped expand our network, connecting more listeners to Christ. Would your business or organization like to share in this mission? If you own or manage a business, we would like to talk to you about how you can make a positive impact in the state of Iowa and beyond. To learn more about becoming an Iowa Catholic Radio Underwriter, contact Deacon Mark 515-223-1150 or visit iowacatholicradio.com.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio is provided by Construction Professionals. Construction Professionals does remodeling and new construction. Construction Professionals is a Catholic family business built on a strong foundation. CPCustomHomes.com. Thank you, Construction Professionals, for supporting Iowa Catholic Radio. Thank you for your support of Iowa Catholic Radio. Did you know when you support Iowa Catholic Radio, you can make your donation go farther by asking your employer about matching gifts? Ask your employer about matching gifts, and thank you for supporting Iowa Catholic Radio.
And we're back here at Duke Williams Stadium as Dowling leading 41-7 following the Wolves' 12-play, 67-yard drive, capped off by Brady Grissom, the running back for Waukee Northwest. 1-yard run for the touchdown. Extra point is good, and now Dowling will take over at their own 20-yard line as a kickoff went into the end zone. Matt, you got some updated scores.
Some updates. Valley has now gone ahead of Cedar Falls 27-10. The Johnston-Ankeny game is going to get exciting. It's Johnston 16, Ankeny 13. I'm assuming that's probably into the fourth quarter. And Southeast Polk, I have not seen an update on that, but still the shutout, I believe, down in Ankeny tonight. Or at Southeast Polk over in Altoona.
Yeah, Johnston went overtime last week. As we were packing up and leaving the stadium, they were going to overtime, and Johnston scored and kicked the extra point, went up 7, and back comes City High, and on third or fourth and goal from like the 3, the quarterback Larson fumbles it at the 1 into the end zone, recovered by Johnston, game over. What an ending that was for Johnston to get to tonight's game over at Ankeny.
Yeah, they're playing as good as football as anybody coming down the stretch here. Johnston has.
Dowling loses a yard, carried by Moore on that first down play, as Cataldo now hand off to Moore again. And fighting for yards, gets across the 20, gets some of those yards back up to the 22-yard line for a gain of 3, and it'll bring up 3rd and 8.
3rd and 8 as the clock continues to run. Under 3:40 left in the game. Dowling up 41-7. It's this Dowling team has looked very, very good coming down the stretch. And since you've seen the improvement all year long, and the balance. We talk about the defense because we were talking off the air about who we're going to talk to on the defense, who's done well, but it's so spread out. I mean, as a unit, they play so well, and they've been pretty impressive this last 2 months of the year.
They certainly have. It's 3rd and 8 Maroons on their own 22. Dante Cataldo at quarterback, high snap, and he gives it to Jack Moore, and he's gobbled up and stood up. And now we got the rugby scrum, and they're pushing him up to the 25, and up to the 27-yard line goes the rugby scrum, and they'll spot him down there. Clock will run. It'll be 4th and 3 for the Maroons.
You see so much more of that today than you have, even 5 years ago, where they get everybody stood up, and they just keep pushing the pile, and the pile moves, and away we go.
All right, Johnny, we left it open-ended for you. We're still trying to figure out who your microphone's going to go in front of tonight.
Well, there's so many options. I'm always a fan of that defensive line, Hagen and Rumley and Heikes. So those guys just take so much punishment up front to let the linebackers run free, and they get a lot of double teams, and they just have really come on their own.
Maroons will punt it away. Yeah, you're right, Johnny. As a nice kick that time by Dowling Catholic, and I believe that's Vidane in there, and that's Joe Vidane on the punt, his best punt of the year. Kicks it all the way down to the 42 of Northwest, and that's where the Wolves will take over 1st and 10 with 2:09 left to go in the fourth quarter. Dowling leading 41-7, and Johnny, I think you're right. Tommy Keipel might be a guy to get in there. He's a senior, and he is in that rotation with Peyton Johnson, Tony Fatino, Keipel. They relieve Heikes, Rumley, and Hagen on that front 3.
Dylan Manning as well. Dylan Manning gets in there quite a bit. He got a sack tonight, I believe, or at least.
Mm-hmm. We're also talking about Noah Seamer. He was hurt most of the year, so a couple of names to throw out there, Johnny, as the ball is deflected on the pass by Sam Johnson for Northwest, incomplete.
Couldn't tell. I think that was either Gabe Reinhardt on deflected that football right there and made sure it bounced before it got to the receiver, so incomplete pass.
Are you sure it was Gabe?
I'm pretty sure.
Because his dad's doing the end zone camera.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Well, we think he is, right, Johnny? I don't know what's going on down that end zone. I never do see that film.
It's a great view, though, to have that end zone. You can see everything and being behind the play, too.
Yeah, his dad is in the north end zone under the tent.
Under the tent.
The poor Waukee guys in the south end zone running the camera. They don't have a tent.
We take care of our people.
You think Mr. Reinhardt would, kind of help out a little bit. Here's a pass by Johnson, caught at 45, down to the 40-yard line of Dowling. Nice move after the catch by the Jackson Adams, rather, for Northwest.
On the previous play, I just want to give it, Ben Thomas was the one on the stop for the Maroons, and then this time it was Isaac Dolo again. And Waukee loads up.
Back to throw Johnson, and the ball's in, almost intercepted by Dowling into the head zone. Running head over heels is Isaac Dolo. Almost came up with a pick.
Yeah,
it's good to see him back in there after that. He was shaken up a little earlier.
Makes a nice stab at that and almost got it off the end of his fingers.
So to bring up 2nd and 10, Northwest at the Dowling 40. Final minute and 21 left to go in the fourth quarter. Dowling going back to the Dome. They didn't get a go there last year. And looking forward to heading back there this year. And that'll be either a 4 o'clock or 7 o'clock kickoff. Next Friday night we'll have the game on Iowa Catholic Radio, Dowling against whoever is left. Right now it looks like Dowling Valley rematch, because Valley is the lower-seeded team of all the teams left, and they're winning on the road at last report.
Yeah, it really does look like that Valley will win that game. There's a decent amount of time. The game at Johnson and Ankeny, they got a whole quarter left there. They just went into the fourth quarter, so that one's going to go down to the wire.
All right, catch out there by Northwest of 7 yards. It'll bring up 2nd and 3. Grissom gets the handoff, and he bowls his way for a first down and inside the 30 down to the Dowling 29 with 45 seconds remaining in the game.
Again, Valley being the 14th seed, they will play Dowling if the score holds down there against Cedar Falls next week Friday, and then it's just figuring out who Southeast Polk is going to play.
All right, Johnson back to throw, looking towards the end zone, fires it out, and the receiver goes down, and the penalty flag is not out, incomplete, with 30 seconds remaining.
30 seconds remaining. The feet got tangled up there with the defender and the offensive player as they both went down before the football got there. It's one of those plays, if it would have happened in the first quarter, then there would have been a lot more hollering going on.
There would have been.
Yes.
There would have been. I would agree with that, Matt. All right, it's 2nd and 10, Waukee Northwest from the Dowling 29. Trying to keep the windows clear in here. That's always been an issue with the moisture and the temperature. 35-0 Southeast Polk with the lead. I think you mentioned that earlier. And now here's Johnson on play action, fires out, passes intercepted at the 20-yard line.
He's got a lot of room
He's
to run.
got some room at the 40, still on his feet. 20.
Going to cut back.
And nice return that time by Nick Frericks. Finally dropped at the 25-yard line.
Make it. Yeah.
Frericks with the interception. And he went 50 yards on the return. And at 14 seconds left, and Dowling will take over. Third interception tonight.
Yeah, Nick Frericks caught that ball. Johnson had to get rid of it, and I couldn't tell if he got hit, but he had to kind of throw it up in the air. And Frericks camped under it and makes the interception and has a nice run back. And Dowling will take a knee, I'm assuming.
And Johnny, that was all set up by pressure on Johnson. The Waukee quarterback, Sam Johnson, had a lot of pressure there, and he had to unload it. Or maybe not. Johnny, you there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I was looking to see if it's still raining and to take my umbrella down or not.
Oh.
Yeah, that was tremendous pressure. Bad snap by the Maroons. It's covered up by Cataldo.
And if they weren't taking a knee, now they are.
Yeah, well, and that'll do it. The Maroons will let the clock run out. But nice pressure that time. Set up Frericks' interception. Third turnover that was forced tonight by the Dowling defense. So hats off to them, and the Maroons win it, and they take the field. They'll go over and shake hands with the Northwest coaching staff. Dowling 41 and Northwest Wolves 7, the final. The Maroons move on to the Unidome, and what will be apparent, Dowling Valley rematch. Question, 4 o'clock or 7 o'clock next Friday night in Unidome, but we'll be there and looking forward to the trip. Wonder if they gave away my parking space. I used to have a parking space for all those years we went in a row, and now we've got to start a new streak.
You got to start a new streak. That's all right. We'll do that.
Congratulations to head coach Tom Wilson and the Dowling Maroons. This is the Maroons' 45th state postseason appearance, and for Coach Wilson, his 23rd appearance in the postseason as a head coach, and the Maroons will advance with the win tonight, 41-7 over Waukee Northwest. We'll take a break and come back. We'll have game statistics coming up with Coach Seifert. He'll bring those over, and we'll go on the field with interviews with John Scheidel following tonight's game with Dowling players and head coach Tom Wilson. Again, the final, Dowling 41, Waukee Northwest 7. Back to Williams Stadium in Des Moines after these messages here on the Iowa Catholic Radio Network.
Did you know you have a choice in your child's education? Smaller class sizes, dedicated teachers, a sense of community, and a caring learning environment. Whether it's in the classroom or at home, Diocese of Des Moines Catholic Schools deliver the best value in education, And we offer tuition assistance to help you afford it. Learn more about how the Catholic schools in the Des Moines Diocese might be the right choice for your child. Visit dmdiocese.org/schools.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio is provided by Dental Associates, addressing your smile needs and dreams. 515-225-6742. Des Moines-DentalAssociates.com. Thank you, Dental Associates, for your support of Iowa Catholic Radio.
Iowa Catholic Radio, connecting listeners to Christ every day with people like you.
Hi, this is Doreen Zanona from All Saints in Des Moines. Thanks for listening to Iowa Catholic Radio.
And we're back here at Duke Williams Stadium in Des Moines East Side. We want to thank Grandview University and Des Moines East for being very hospitable to us in the two playoff games here. Without them, we could not do it. Our thanks to Lowell Long, one of the assistant athletic directors, who's been doing yeoman's work with last week's situation with the play clock and all that. So our thanks to him and all the staff here at Des Moines East. And, of course, the folks at Grandview University, best of luck to them. They're on the road tomorrow down in Missouri as they take off. Coach Jepson is part of the president of the Dowling Catholic Football League, but he's also the quarterbacks coach for the number 2 ranked Grandview University Vikings, who will be on the road tomorrow down in Missouri as they keep their schedule going. And tonight, Dowling with a winner 41-7 over Waukee Northwest. And congratulations to head coach Tom Wilson as a ceremony being performed on the field right now, recognition for the Northwest team, and then Dowling now being announced as the semifinalists. They'll move on to the Union Dome in Cedar Falls. Let's take a look at our game stats. I want to thank Jared Seifert, one of the Dowling sophomore football coaches, keeps the numbers for the Maroons. Dowling with 301 yards of total offense. They had 200 at halftime. 300 finished with 301 in the game. Waukee Northwest with 135 yards of total offense. Dowling had 115 yards passing, 186 yards on the ground. Northwest with 81 yards rushing and 54 yards in the air. Maroons were penalized twice for 20 yards. Northwest penalized once for 5 yards. First downs, Dowling with 20, Northwest with 10. Jackson Smolik, 8 out of 11 passing, 73 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. Dante Cataldo, 2 for 2 passing, 42 yards and a touchdown. Sam Johnson, the Northwest quarterback, 6 out of 21 passing, 54 yards and 3 interceptions. Leading ball carrier tonight for Dowling Catholic was C.J. Phillip, 23 carries, 110 yards and a touchdown. Rashad Davis, 13 carries, 55 yards and a touchdown. Quarterback Jackson Smolik, 6 carries, 25 yards and a pair of touchdowns. Jack Moore, 6 carries, 6 yards. For Northwest, Brady Grisham, 16 carries, 57 yards and a touchdown. And Sam Johnson, 9 carries, 24 yards. Cooper Nicholson was the leading receiver for Dowling, 3 catches for 52 yards. Matt Kerner, 1 catch for 38 yards and a touchdown. Bo Gamble, 3 catches for 13 yards. And Hank Brown, 3 catches for 12 yards. For Waukee Northwest, Jackson Adams, 5 catches for 50 yards. And Grant Carter, 1 catch for 4 yards. Leading tacklers tonight, Jimmy Wanick. You called his name a few times tonight, Matt. He had 4 tackles and 6 assists. Dylan Manning, Dowling linebacker, 3.5 tackles with 3 assists. Matt Hanton, 3 tackles and 4 assists. Braden Pearson, 2.5 tackles, 3 assists. Lucas Scigliano, 2.5 tackles and 1 assist. And Justin Williams, 2.5 tackles with 3 assists. Some of the numbers tonight for Dowling as the Maroons amassed 301 yards of total offense to 135 for the Wolves of Waukee Northwest. Thanks to the Dowling coaching staff for providing that. And I'll tell you what, without that, we couldn't provide that. And Jared Seifert is one of the best. And I know Johnny's getting ready. I wonder if he's going to go into the tent, Matt, with the post-game interviews.
No, they're tougher than that. I don't think it's raining.
Oh, they're taking the tent down. They're taking
Yeah,
the tent down. Johnny, you about ready? We got to find you first.
I'm trying to find. I think they kind of all scattered on me.
All right. Well, we'll let you round them up.
Updates here.
So why don't you round them up, John, and we'll get to Matt's score updates with the playoff games. And Matt, take it away.
I think I got to give a shout to Mike Martin here, who's helping me online, and I get it. Ankeny fumbled. They had the ball and were driving down by 3 points. They fumbled it. Johnson had the ball with 6:50 left, and then were driving deep into Ankeny territory. So Johnston looking to put that game away, maybe, and then we'll see what happens. Ankeny has a way of bouncing back. So
yeah, they certainly do. I just got a score update: 23-13 Johnston with 5:10 left to go in the game. So 23-13 Johnston upsetting Ankeny. So you go back and you look at the numbers, and that's one to note. Johnston the 6th seed, Ankeny the 3 seed, and that will be interesting. But we know it'll be Dowling Valley, the Tigers, winning against the Tigers in the Unidome as Valley upsets Cedar Falls inside the Dome. And it'll be a Dowling Valley rematch next Friday night, either at 4 or 7 p.m. Johnny, how you doing down there?
I got C.J. Phillip here coming.
All right. Well, you give us a high sign as we haven't got you locked in here, Matt. But we will get that. We want to thank our supporters tonight, including all our folks on Iowa Catholic Radio. They include Bozen the Florist, Ashworth Vision, Construction Professionals, and Dental Associates. Our thanks also go to Skeffington's Formal Wear, the Catholic Tuition Organization, and Dental Associates. Reminder, Dowling Open House this Sunday, November 6th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. And I think they're about ready. I see some pictures being taken. Johnny, take it away.
Well, C.J. Phillip here, the Dowling running back. What a night for you and the offensive line, and Rashad as well. That 1-2 punch has just been fantastic this year, and you guys really started out the game controlling the line of scrimmage and establishing that run game early.
Yeah, it was cold, and offense knew we just needed to put the pieces together to get it done.
You know, you guys really took advantage of different shifts and looks and kind of to get the numbers. Is that kind of the strategy this week?
Yeah, I mean, we take a lot of time watching film, breaking down what the other team does, and practice it, and it came to play.
You know, in tonight's conditions, what a night to be able to run the football as well as you guys did.
Yeah, powerhouse.
Well, congratulations, and you're back in the Dome, guys. Congratulations, and best of luck next week.
Thanks.
All right, John Chido with C.J. Phillip, who had well over 100 yards tonight rushing. We'll give Johnny a moment to line up his next interview. Dowling the winner tonight. If you joined us late, the 5A quarterfinal playoff game, 41-7. Dowling a winner over Waukee Northwest. Back down on that wet, damp field. Let's go to John Chido. Go ahead, Johnny.
Nick Ferricks, 2 interceptions tonight. The defense played well all night long, and you guys established putting Waukee in bad field position. But just talk about the interceptions and your eye for that football tonight.
You know, we knew where to be. We were ready for it. We were in the right spot, and I came up with it. But I got to give credit to my teammates who were blocking in front of me, and it's a good night.
Oh, it's just we talked about turnovers are going to be a key factor tonight. You not only had one, but you had 2, and that credit the defensive line as well, putting pressure on Waukee's back.
Right. Both the picks, they were in the backfield. I mean, it is an outstanding job, and it was right place, right time, man.
Well, thanks, Nick, and best luck next week.
Thank you.
All right, Johnny with Nick Frericks. Dowling Jr. had an interception tonight along with C.J. Phillip, and it doesn't get any better than that, Matt, does it?
No, it doesn't. I believe Coach Wilson's ready to go.
Well, we had a lot of microphones and
we
the
did.
Players, but he's all by himself with Coach Wilson. Take it away.
Well, Coach, with the weather conditions, you guys were able to control the line of scrimmage early and really move the football, but you guys playing all week, and then the kids really did a good job executing.
They really did. I was really proud of our kids. I thought we came out to play, and you alter the game plan a little bit just based on weather conditions. But really, a lot of our run game was run through Jackson, whatever look we were getting, and most of the time he got us in the most favorable looks, and then able to mix in the pass a little bit.
Yeah, he did a nice job. We talked about it all game of seeing with the defense how they were lined up and being able to make certain calls and adjustments and being able to take control out there as the quarterback.
He did. After a while, I took it away from him just because I thought, okay, we've got an idea of what they're doing. But I thought he did a great job. And then, we had the pass play called deep in their territory, and it wasn't a quarterback draw. He just took off, and because he saw the middle open, and great play by him.
In Waukee, Dowling's defense, your defense being able to shut down that run game. I think it only had 22 yards rushing the first half, and your defense really put a lot of pressure in the backfield all night.
I thought we dominated the line of scrimmage. I thought we tackled better. That was something I wasn't happy with last week, and obviously that was a point of emphasis this week. But, we'd talked about really this week. I asked the kids, how many of you truly have played in the Dome? And there were 5 of them. And you really don't think of that when it's Dowling Catholic. Well, these guys had to earn it, and really proud of them. They came out and did that, and they were hungry for it.
Well, congratulations, Coach. You're back in the Dome. Another chance to move forward, and what a great opportunity.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you, Coach.
John Chido with head coach Tom Wilson after the Maroons win tonight over Waukee Northwest in the playoffs, 41-7, the final. And for the Maroons, they keep up pretty good domination over the Waukee schools. Dowling came in 15-0 against Waukee before they split. They're 4-0 in the playoffs against Waukee, and then they're 2-0 against Northwest. They're now 3-0 against Northwest and 1-0 against in the playoffs against them. And I get this from the historian, and Ted Power. And
is that a Ted Power thing?
Yeah, I've utilized those tools that he's got. So
it's a good thing he retired.
Yeah. So so Dowling now 18-0 over the combined Waukee schools, with 15 of those 18 wins over Waukee, and now 3 wins over Waukee Northwest. So that's a pretty good record against a Waukee team. Like I mentioned, Waukee's grown so much, but you go back 10, 12 years ago, they were just a 3A school. So They haven't been in 4A and now 5A very long. So that's quite a record, and appreciate Ted. And if folks want to help him out, I'm going to give you his email address, tpdesign57. That's T as in Todd, P as in Paul, tpdesign57@yahoo.com. And always looking for interviews and looking for coaches, and I think he's going about the right way, and looking for him to put this little journal of Dowling football together. 1918 when it started, and Ted's got a lot of research in, so trying to help him out.
What was the weather that night?
I didn't ask him. He doesn't have weather conditions in here. I looked at his journal, and he doesn't have weather conditions in there yet, but don't need to. What a win for the Maroons. Matt, we're going to take a time out and come back. We're going to talk more about the open house this Sunday at Dowling and preview next week. We know it's going to be Dowling Valley. You're going to have most of these scores are final. There's a few that are still going on, but we'll catch up with our scores, our playoff scores. We know Dowling's in. They'll be playing in the Dome next Friday, as John mentioned with Coach Wilson. 41-7 the final. Dowling over Waukee Northwest here at Williams Stadium in Des Moines East Side. Back after these messages here on Iowa Catholic Radio.
Honey, I'm so excited for our kitchen remodel.
All right, you love birds. Floors?
Natural hardwood.
Okay. Wow, that was quick. Countertops?
Definitely natural granite.
Check.
Woohoo!
And that wall?
Tear it down. It let in more natural sunlight.
Done.
Whoa.
Speaking of tearing down walls, your family planning. Natural, right?
Natural family planning is 99% effective at achieving or delaying pregnancy, and there are no harmful chemicals, so it's better for you and the environment. Tear down the wall.
A message from Iowa Catholic Radio.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio comes from Mercy One, your expert circle of personalized care for all your health needs. With more care locations than anyone, your best life is their one purpose. Find your doctor at mercy1.org. Have you downloaded the Iowa Catholic Radio app? It's easy through the Apple App Store on iPhone or through Google Play on Android. Search Iowa Catholic Radio and download the app. You can listen to Iowa Catholic Radio Talk or Iowa Catholic Radio Music. Listening to Iowa Catholic Radio is easy.
And we're back here at Duke Williams Stadium on Des Moines East Side. Final score, Dowling 41, Waukee Northwest 7. Mark Amadale alongside Matt Maindring, John Chido, as the Maroons advance to the semifinals next Friday at the Unidome in Cedar Falls. It'll be a 4 or 7 o'clock kickoff. We'll get that from the state here either tonight or early tomorrow. We'll be up there with the broadcast. And as John mentioned to Coach, it's been a while since the Maroons have been there. 5 players from this team were on the last Maroon team, which was 2 years ago when Dowling last made it, and they'll be making the trek inside the Unidome. We know Valley won tonight. Matt, you've got to look at some scores. One game still remaining, Ankeny hosting Johnston. Johnston had to lead with the last maybe under 3 minutes left to go.
Yeah, I don't know if the Valley game is the final yet. The last score we have is now 27-13. I think the game is still going because I haven't seen it final anywhere else. The Southeast Polk game did go final 41-0, and then the Johnston Ankeny game is going down to the wire here again. The last score we had 23-13 Johnston.
Yeah, I'm looking for a Valley update on their 27-13, 3:11 left to go in the Dome. Valley leading 27-13 over Cedar Falls, and they said, "Yep, just right around 3 minutes left to go." So there you go there, and what a night it was, Johnny. I'm giving John a chance to get thawed out up here in the press box. What a night it was, and it's not the best night for high school football, but that's the last game outdoors. Welcome to the press box, John.
When you're playing at this time of the year, you don't care what the weather's like.
Right.
You just want to be playing.
That's exactly right. And these two teams are fortunate enough to make it this far, and Dowling now a chance to go back to the Unidome. And, I didn't even think about that until Coach Wilson said that.
Yeah.
Because we as fans, alumni, former players, we just assume that every year Dowling's going to be in the Dome and playing football, and it's been a while.
You said 5 players
Yeah.
were the last ones. They must have been sophomores because it was 2 years ago.
Suited up.
Yeah.
Suited up, yes. So, looking
And
forward
it's,
to that.
the one thing, when we talked about it when we were on that run, that every senior class, it's their year, right? And so it is always fresh to the kids. People inside the building and inside the staff and everywhere else, they see it and they think, well, it's just every year, but it's different kids and it's different kids' teams. And I think that's what, one of the things that Coach Wilson does so well with his staff and everything else is make sure that that the players know it's their team.
Yeah, that's a good point. And, they take ownership in that, and they take leadership in that. And we've seen that this year with the team, and certainly tonight. Johnny, they got out the first.
Whatever happened to the modern world? Hi, this is Cy Kellett, host of Catholic Answers Live. Join me on Saturday, December 10th at the Embassy Suites downtown for Iowa Catholic Radio's Dinner in December. I'll be speaking about what we can do to help recover a modern world fit for people. Plus, enjoy a fabulous meal and fellowship with your Iowa Catholic Radio family. Register today at iowacatholicradio.com, iowacatholicradio.com, and I'll look forward to seeing you on December 10th in downtown Des Moines.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio is provided by Skeffington's Formal Wear, in business since 1951, with locations in Des Moines, West Des Moines, Coralville, and Ankeny. Skeffington's Formal Wear, fitting you for life celebrations. Online at skeffingtons.com.
Iowa Catholic Radio, connecting listeners to Christ every day with people like you.
Hi, this is Chris Dowd from St. Francis of Assisi in West Des Moines. Thanks for listening to Iowa Catholic Radio.
And welcome back to Williams Stadium in Des Moines. Mark Amadale alongside Matt Maindring, John Chido. Yeah, we lost our connection. They started turning everything off. Everybody else is leaving. why not us? And here
some
we are.
of our best conversation of the year too. We have some really insightful stuff going on, and
don't know where we left off. So we'll start over. That's fine. 41-7, Dowling a winner. They advanced to the Unidome, and a couple games in progress. Valley in the late stages of upsetting the home team, Cedar Falls, the 5th seed, and it looks like Johnson going on the road and upsetting Ankeny. Matt, let's give our listeners a review, not knowing where we left off at.
Yeah, and so again, Valley late ahead, 27-13, and because of the seeding, they win. Dowling plays Valley, and then the only other thing is Johnston and Ankeny are coming down the wire. Johnston leading 23-13 with the ball, I believe, late, and then Southeast Polk rolled tonight as Dowling did.
So the Rams will move on, and they're the number 2 seed, so they'll obviously play Johnston if they defeat Ankeny. And, of course, Dowling Valley rematch up in the Dome. That's happened before, Johnny. Remember that? Not too long ago, I think, we had that. I know that because we all came back. We had everybody going back to West Des Moines, their respective schools. We may see that again, a rematch with Valley. This was a rematch tonight with Waukee Northwest, so the Maroons for the second time will play a team twice.
Yeah, and you're playing your crosstown rivalry the second time around. And, when it comes to Dowling and Valley, I don't want to start talking about it too quick, but anything can happen. You might as well just wipe away the records. These two teams know each other so well; they're going to get after it, and it's always hard to beat a team the second time around. And it's always going to be a fun one to watch.
Yeah, it will be. And as much as Dowling dominated the line of scrimmage the last time they played, you got to erase your memory and just go out and reestablish again whose line is the best. And that was the thing that was probably the most impressive the last time they played, how much Dowling could run the football and run it right at them.
Yeah, they certainly did. And this Waukee Northwest team got the shutout on the road at Cedar Rapids County last week, and they came out and they've won 6 of their last 7 games. The only loss that Northwest had was at Ankeny, 31-7 back on October 14th. They won 2 in a row going into tonight, and Dowling took it to them. And that first drive of the game kind of set the statement. You eat up a lot of game clock. I mean, you start the game at the 12-minute mark, and you leave 3.5 minutes left to go in the first quarter, and Waukee's offense hadn't been on the field.
The Johnston game did go final. It's on the State Association website now. Johnston 23, Ankeny 13. So wow. Johnston gets the upset.
But what a statement to start! You keep Waukee Northwest offense off the field for all but 3 minutes.
Yeah, and not only that, you eat up the clock. You convert 2 key fourth down situations: one in your own territory, one inside the red zone. You convert and you finish the drive, go up 7, like you said, Mark. But then you come away and Waukee goes down on a knee when the returner goes to fill the ball. So I think they started inside their 10-yard line that first drive. So that's a tough spot to put the ball club in right out of the gates.
And just how important again as you were just mentioning with that first down when we went for it on fourth down, because if you're staying on the other sideline, you stop Dowling on third and short, create a fourth down situation, and mentally you're thinking, okay, now we got to punt. We got to stop in that first series. They're going to punt it, and we're going to get the ball back, and then all of a sudden they take it and get the first down and
fourth and one
down the field.
4th and 1 on the Dowling's own 29. They go for it, and they get like 6-7 yards. C.J. Phillip gets out of bounds about the 35. They get 6-7 yards on a first down, and it was all set up by some of the things we talked about in the pregame that the coaching staff saw. The read, and Jackson Smolik's back there with the signals, and you go up there and he's got a couple plays in mind. Every time he takes a snap, he's got 2 plays, and he'll call one or check down, and kid does a nice job with that. And the Dowling offense executed tonight. Offensive line playing well, defensive line. You talked to a couple of those guys; they're just awesome. And Johnny, you had the bird's eye view tonight in the rain.
Yeah, it was neat to see the offensive line be able to control that line of scrimmage, and when you're able to run the football like that. In these weather conditions, it makes your life so much easier offensively because you're putting yourself in third and manageable, those 3 fourth down and manageable 1-yard situations, and you're staying ahead of the chains. And that's what you want as an offensive play caller, to be able to be in those situations. And then you reverse sides with Waukee, and you plan all week, Matt, like you've been in this situation as a coach and a play caller, and you got a script, and this is going to be my first 10 scripted out, and now we're starting inside our 7. So that changes everything, and you really got to think, okay, how do we put ourselves back on track?
And again, special teams, and Dowling has you look at, when you get to this point in the season, the talent on both sides gets pretty close, and it all comes down to a few things. And then a lot of times, your execution on special teams really determines where you're going to be. And for Waukee Northwest tonight, it made a big difference.
It made a huge difference, and having that weapon as special teams, that's another turnover. Is being able to put teams in bad situations.
3 interceptions by the defense, and then Vinny Bertinoli's block punt. That set up the third touchdown, right. And Jackson Smolik ran it in for a yard. That block punt, he landed on it at the Waukee Northwest 10, and another turnover. Now it's 4 turnovers tonight by the Dowling special teams and defense, and that's what you got to have going in. And some big field goals tonight by Andrew Schumacher. Remember, he was out for a while this year with an injury. Came back, 36 and 39-yard field goals in back-to-back possessions for Andrew. And the Maroons tacking on another touchdown late with this Kerner kid. I kind of remember a Kerner going here, but I didn't remember him playing offense. I thought he was just a punt returner and played defense.
He could have played anywhere.
He could have. But his little brother, Matt Kerner, 38-yard touchdown pass from Dante Cataldo. And that was a tremendous play, I'll tell you.
It was.
Down the far sideline.
I go back, not to take anything away from that play, but I just want to go back to Jackson Smolik for a second, even though he might have had a visitor here watching him tonight.
I thought you were going to get an interview.
You told me I couldn't. you said no.
But Jackson Smolik, the play of the game for outside of his play calling was that when he scrambled out and looked like he was going to run, finds Cooper down the sideline. What a great play! He
double clutched it too. With the wet ball and weather conditions.
Yeah, it was an outstanding play, and it's one of those things it's a separator.
All right.
And then you have the quarterback that throws the one touchdown pass is the
Cataldo.
number 2 quarterback. And not only that, he threw the ball high and outside. And I think Matt mentioned it. There was 2 defenders
was it deflected?
No,
okay.
that were just humming down to take that ball the other way.
Yeah, they were.
Well, everything worked out for the Maroons tonight. Now they get to do it inside where it's dry. Yeah, it's a 2-hour trip, but Dowling back to the Unidome, and we'll be there with them on Friday. Looking forward to that. We'll find out the times. It'll be Dowling Valley, and we'll be there next Friday. That's going to wrap things up. I know we're on our final segment here. We got knocked off the air a little bit, but John, thanks for you. It wasn't warm down there tonight. It started out dry after it rained all day. It stopped, and then it came back, right as Matt mentioned, right in the second quarter.
This has just been my luck. I've had a bad year. You have your last game on the sideline for the year, and it's in a monsoon, and it's freezing cold. So that's just
no more of that. It's all indoors from here.
Par for the course for me.
2 things school-wise, John, that was good. Anyway, 2 things school-wise. Open house on Sunday.
Yep.
Make sure from 11 to 2 that you take an opportunity to get to visit Dowling. And just as an add-on, Mark, there is no school next week Friday. Next week Friday is a professional development day for our teachers, so the kids don't have school, so the kids are going to have plenty of time to get up there. The only people asking about what time we're going to get out is going to be the teachers next week Friday.
And Friday is Veterans Day.
And Veterans Day.
So it's a holiday, national holiday. And,
you guys are off. You probably be ready for a break by.
Do you think?
Yes.
We'll be ready to celebrate in Cedar Falls, I'll tell you, just to get out of town.
Yeah.
So looking forward to that. It's going to be an interesting week. Hopefully, you're going to hold together. You going to be all right?
You might see Forrest Gump where he runs out of not only off the field but out of the stadium and keeps going. So,
before we get off the air, we got to pay homage to these guys because this is their last game. Because the visiting chain gang does the games in the Dome. Well, Dowling will be the home team if they're fortunate enough to play 2 games. Kevin Morris, Pat Reinhardt, Kevin Gass, Frank Chido, Darren Marasco. Know any of those guys?
Just a few.
One Frank
said
for the umbrella.
Well, he says make sure you get his umbrella
that was
back.
Key.
Yeah.
He grabbed it before.
He did.
Before I even interviewed Coach Wilson, he already had it in his hands.
That's awesome. But Morris is kind of the captain of this group, and I see he drafted another Reinhardt on there. One's on the camera, one's on the chain gang. That's interesting.
And these guys, to volunteer their time, especially in the weather conditions, and come out here and do this. And not only that, they dress for the part, too. They have 3 different sets of uniforms, and they do a tremendous job.
Well, this guy went and got a coat. This Marasco guy, he went and got a coat. Did you see that?
Yeah.
He was displaying that today in the office, so hats off to them. Guys, you do a great job. We kid you a lot, but as Johnny mentioned, it's all volunteer. They do not get paid a dime, and they pay for their own uniforms, of which they have 3 sets of.
3 sets.
Three sets.
Three
really?
sets of uniforms. And in Halloween, it was really, they have this orange with, like the Tennessee checkerboard. That was going around. I think that must have left with Balducci, but they used to have that. It was interesting during Halloween time.
This tells you how important Dowling football is to everybody, that you got guys out there with 3 sets of uniforms from the chain gang. And
and speaking of that, we should say congratulations, because I get my weekends right. Cross country was last weekend, wasn't it?
Yeah.
There's so much has transpired since then, and congratulations also to Mary Beth Wiskus and the volleyball team. Great season. Tough loss on Tuesday, or Monday afternoon. Mm-hmm. That was heart-wrenching to see the girls play so well and come up a little bit short. But Jackson Heide sets a state record, runs under 15 minutes.
Unheard of,
and just an outstanding showing by the boys cross-country team, winning by, I don't even know the amount of points, there's a bunch. And they won it handily down there, and Coach Ives has done a great job. And also congratulations to the girls who got 10th down there, and just a great season for both of them. And swimming, tomorrow is the regional qualifiers for the swimming. State swim is next week.
And they're in Fort Dodge tomorrow for the regional at noon.
Right, and then Marshalltown for state next week, Saturday.
Pretty good job by the divers last night. Got it kicked off at Johnston. They had the regional diving, and Maroons had 3 in the top 6, so that's a great start.
Yeah, great start. Fantastic.
So, and then we have the open house on, as you mentioned, this Sunday, Dowling Open House from 11 to 2. You can find out more information when you arrive. And does that include those of us that are parents? Can we go just to go?
We've just go wander around.
Johnny and I can wander around.
Nobody wants to see us around there.
I didn't know if we could wander around.
They hear you enough on Friday nights, so
I want to go find Coach Jack. He teaches my daughter. I got a few things to ask him.
It's not conferences.
Oh, it's not?
No, it's not conference.
I guess that means no, Johnny. I can't go.
I did get this question about it's not only for people coming in to be freshmen next year. If you're sixth grade, and you want to see what Dowling's about.
Sure. Exactly right. Because a lot of people make that decision early on, whether or not 5th and 6th grade, what middle school they might go to, because athletics start and all those other things start. And so, yes, if you are 5th, 6th grade, and you're starting to think about the decision about high school, get out there and take a walk around the building and meet a lot of people.
Yeah, Dowling ambassadors will be there, along with a parent panel discussion, and of course tuition assistance. There'll be folks there and representatives there to answer your questions. So it's all very helpful. Again, Sunday, 11 to 2 at Dowling Catholic High School in West Des Moines. All right, we'll see you guys. We'll make arrangements for the Unidome on Friday. Looking forward to that.
Sounds good.
I don't think I have my parking pass. I've been gone 2 years. I used to have a permanent parking place up there, and that all went when we didn't make it for 2 years. And I took a beating from the Eastern Iowa media because they kept texting me, and I'd be at work, and there'd be a game. So, that works out. But we're back, and looking forward to it. Hats off to Coach Wilson. Johnny, thank you for all you do.
Yep.
And we'll see you next week. Matt, we'll talk to you next week.
Sounds good.
That'll wrap up our broadcast from Duke Williams Stadium, legendary place here in Des Moines East Side. Thanks to everybody involved, Lowell Long and the folks at Des Moines East for hosting tonight. And, of course, Jared Herring did a great job as the facilities guy. He was around here doing everything, getting everything set up. Our thanks to Corey Kropatich and the Waukee Northwest Wolves. They conclude their season with a record of 6-5. And Dowling improves its record to 10-1, and they move to the Unidome. They'll have the rematch next Friday night or afternoon against West Des Moines Valley. For Matt Maindring, John Chido, I'm Mark Amadale. Thanks for tuning in tonight for playoff football on a very cold and damp night. Final score, final time, Dowling 41, Waukee Northwest 7. Until next week, have a safe and blessed, faith-filled evening.
Coverage of Dowling Catholic Sports is underwritten by Ashworth Vision Clinic, Construction Professionals, Dental Associates, Mercy One, the Catholic Tuition Organization, Skeffington's Formalware, and Bosun the Florist. Please support the businesses that underwrite Iowa Catholic Radio. The proceeding has been a Dowling Catholic Sports presentation on Iowa Catholic Radio.